Baggage full of cabbage and I think they lost my tempo. 36 Mickeys on the candy paint bento. Dabba dabba on, keep my brass knuckles warm. Get the cash from the poor, 60 seconds and I'm gone. Bad when I'm gone, bad man, polygon. Going fast on the phone, roll a quarter-mile marathon. Shimmy in the Jimmy, high wide, sipping Kimmy. Got a brand new mark, roll page in the Mimi. Lazy all together, see something gonna stick. Lazy on the river, team, someone on my hip. Maybe under 18, no rim, all switch. Baby, you ain't never seen nothing like this. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Like this. Nothing like this. Maybe you ain't never seen nothing like this. Nothing like this. Baggage full of cabbage and I think they lost my tempo. 36 Mickeys on the candy paint bento. Dabba dabba on, keep my brass knuckles warm. Put the grass on the lawn, get the cash from the pawn. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Maybe you ain't ever seen nothing like this.
Shots, some great slides, trying to find 6. My man's popping off. 10 for the win. Heretics are doing it. And now he might win the round. Are you kidding me?
Look at the contestants in. Neptune finesse.
Oh my God. We got ourselves a game.
Jumbo somebody.
Holy shit.
That was Beans with 2 clutches and a search and destroy Game 5 that sent Boston, his former franchise, packing. Congrats to Toronto Ultra. You're back into the top 4 where you belong. Boston, where are they at after watching 3 matches?
Yeah, I mean, the hardpoint looks good, I'll be honest. Yeah. They're still solid. Got to work on the search and destroys. Obviously, after watching that match, I still have them in my top 8 for sure. I think Boston just needs to work on their search, and they can push to be top 6, potentially top 4.
Ali, today we continue with our qualifiers for Major 2, and we should remind everybody we have a minor coming up. But for your Major 2 standings, we've got a surprise at the top of the leaderboard. If you watch them in Stage 1, this is a totally new look for Vancouver Surge.
Totally new look for Vancouver Surge. I mean, even if you got into the numbers, like, they had some pretty close maps, but they were getting beat like 3-0s, 3-1s. So for Vancouver Surge, it really did just take Neptune to put them a little bit more over the edge.
Let's take a look here at the Surge and what they've added to the lineup. Neptune seems to bring new life to everyone else in the feed. Who do you like most on this squad, and what does Neptune bring?
Yeah, I mean, I like Neptune the most right now.
Okay.
I feel like they may have saved their season bringing this guy into the roster, and everybody's reaping the benefits. We saw 2 30 bombs on that last map from them, in their last hardpoint, excuse me. We saw Nasty pop it off, Abuza looking like the Abuza from last year, and then the Search and Destroy is also still absolutely on point. And their HPs, guys, they're 4-1 in their last 5 hardpoints. Yeah. Like, he has added so much slaying power to this team, and now they're looking like one of the best teams in the world.
When they're talking about a Vancouver Surge that's gotten better in literally every category. Went from a top 8 hardpoint team to a top 4, went from a top 7 S&D team to the best during the split. Even in control, they've gotten better. Top 5 team to a top 3. So, I mean, he has just elevated this team's new level.
It's only 3 matches, but so far, Neptune is worth every penny. Another star pickup from Challengers. Let's take a look, though. He's not the only pickup. The original Hoop came in after just match 1, filled in for Pred. Pred in the top 3 after returning to Optic despite not winning a map.
Yeah, this just shows me, though, that Hoop needs to get picked up by a roster. Some of these struggling teams, you need to look his way. I am, without a doubt, sure he's going to be on a team by the time we start Stage 3. And then Lunar's making an appearance there as well.
It's great to see some of our Challenger stars moving up. And a reminder, you can catch the Challengers players in action. The Elite is kicking off on Wednesday once again. It's going down right here on our YouTube channel. It's going to be a fun time.
It's going to be a fun time. I mean, you're watching some of the young talent try and break through and make a name for themselves to come into the league. It's going to be exciting.
One squad that doesn't need a rookie is LA Thieves. Let's take a look at one of the highest paid salaries in the business, and for good reason. They brought in the superstars, and they found their form on land, going all the way to that round 11, a game 7, the closest grand finals we've seen in Call of Duty.
Now, this is the best respawn team in the world. Number 1 in control, number 1 in hardpoint.
Yep.
They're phenomenal. They outplayed Atlanta FaZe in those respawns in that final. Just a search destroy as well as getting away from them. If you look at the run throughout that bracket, played a lot of red cards. They were dominating the respawns, but when they needed a search, it was red card getting through. They need to expand their map pool and work on that throughout this split, which they've done so far, Allie. They're just working on that game mode. It's really just them and FaZe, man, and everybody else.
This is a big boy battles today. You're going to see 2 huge lineups. 6-1 at the end of our first qualifier was Toronto Ultra. Today, they are the opponent of LA Thieves. Let's talk about the squad that just walked away with a Game 5 victory over Boston. Are they in the top 3 for S&D? Can they cause problems like FaZe did against back at Major 1?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for Toronto Ultra, S&D is kind of like a do or die for them. They have to stay good at that game mode, and so far so good. They're on a 3-1 spree in that game mode specifically. We were worried because of what we saw at the Major, right? I mean, they lost heartbreaking game number 5, and for Toronto Ultra, like, it's tough when you're ahead and everybody starts to catch up. But from the recent series, it looks like they're doing pretty okay.
Listen, statistically, everything looks fantastic. I mean, these guys are 19-19 to respawn. They're doing what they need to do, and they're the number 1 search team, right? Throughout majority of the year, they've been incredible at finding those first bloods, which we saw versus the Boston Breach. For them, though, what we have noticed is in tournament atmospheres, in the minor and in the major, they have folded under pressure. In the final maps, you got reverse swept in the minor, and you lost the Game 5, right? So got to find the improvement in Joe Thieves, but also the consistency. He has to do this on a consistent basis.
KP10. Kills per 10 in your top 4. Not bad from a guy who is also leading in a number of S&D stats. Joe Thieves, a player to watch today going up against Hydra. Is that the 1v1 to watch?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a banger.
Closer of the night is going to be the team representing New York. Let's take a look at Cloud9 because they are desperate for points. In 10th place right now overall on the season. They've had a little bit of success. That was on land, but can they get it rolling online, Allie?
We're hoping so, right? They're coming off a win versus the Vegas Falcons, but before that, it was a heartbreaking Game 5 loss to the Vancouver Surge. And considering how good Surge has looked, that gives me a little bit of hope for the side of Cloud9, especially in the interview with Civ, of like they recognize their issues and that it's really just finding the roles on this squad and making sure they're sticking to that in series. So for Cloud9, it's kind of just like a wait and see situation for this team.
And when we were fired up for this matchup because it is a rematch from that Major 1. It went to a Game 5. We saw it was a Neslo out of Cloud9 that stole that series.
Yeah, you know, and they had a great approach in that Game 5. I vividly remember it, man. You just split Attach and Civ on either side of the map, and you saw Boston just so afraid to commit to either bomb site, and they just did a great job at staying alive. So you got to bring that search and destroy mentality in this matchup once again, because we know Purge likes to be aggressive, and we saw him getting picked a bunch versus Toronto, but the hard points are what we're looking at. It's a different Cloud9 now that in hard points, Civ and Mac have been unreal.
That first hard point was 6 points, and we saw 3 protocols. Do they let the map through that many times if you're Boston?
I think if you're Boston, you do try to, just because protocol is one of your stronger hard points, and I think Cloud9 should take advantage of that.
Let's take a look at what's coming up next week. Reminder, we're in the middle of qualifiers, but this season, we're adding in some bonus fun. Our single elimination $20,000 minor tournament kicks off next Friday, and we got some opening rounds already figured out. These were set by the bracket back at the end of Major 1. Optic and Falcons, technically the closest matchup, as both teams have 1 or less map wins.
You know what? When you look at the docket of matches, you'd look at that and be like, man, that's such a bad match. But what everybody's saying on social media and how they've been performing, it actually is very exciting. So I can't wait for Optic and Falcons to go against each other.
What a pull for Breach. You get Vancouver Surge in the opening round, and then Atlanta FaZe waiting for you in the second round.
That is so rough.
Well, they play today. When does the Breach take form? That'll be at 6 o'clock. Before then, we've got LA Thieves versus Toronto, a battle of our top 4 squads. But first, Vegas Falcons searching for their first win. Minnesota ice cold in their most recent matchup. Will they unthaw? It's time to find out.
Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
The Esports World Cup is an official partner of the Call of Duty League. The 2025 Vegas Falcons team pack is available now. Each pack includes home and away operators, as well as this spray to let them know who was here. It was a Falcon. Next time you boot up, suit up at the in-game shop.
Let's go.
With Bane, comes up from the backside of Palace wall, plus the delayed hit from Escriel.
Check the scoreboard, I'm running up stacks. Numbers don't lie, that's facts. Yeah, they can't stop.
Oh my God, Gio, my God, is his hard point.
Check the numbers, I'm running it up. I got
Oh, Nero gets a double over the middle of the map. Has more. Oh, Nero. Hello. How about the full team wipe from Nero?
Welcome in. It is a Sunday full of Call of Duty, and we're starting the day with a potential 3-0 Minnesota Røkkr trying to climb back up the podium as they take on our number 11 seed in Major 2, the Vegas Falcons. Let's start, though, with the Røkkr. 0-3 against Carolina. Yep. Are you worried about a team that was popping off in their previous meeting?
Listen, we keep putting them in this 3 p.m. slot. I'm always be worried. These guys, for some reason, strike me as a team that just goes to bed real late because they did not look like themselves in that last game. And more specifically, it was Nero. I think he was the worst performer in that match. And this team like hinges on him a little bit, right? And he's playing super aggressive and he's finding his timings. They're just so successful. It was a bit unfortunate. They did lose a round 11, but Nero was just getting picked, not finding the success he typically does. So he has to bounce back today.
Yeah, it was a tough match for Minnesota Røkkr. They were letting TJ get behind enemy lines just way too much in that first opening hardpoint to already set them back. And then they play Carolina on one of their better S&Ds and red cards. So maybe Minnesota working on their map pool a little bit going into this series because they have one insanely good hardpoint and one insanely good S&D, and then they're kind of below average everywhere else.
No, I agree. I mean, like, they've been trying to play Skyline so much, 2-6 on that map, and I love that they keep playing it because it has to be one of their good maps. I mean, you look at the roster, and it's like they should dominate that map. So hopefully we get it again in this map set.
Who squares up on Skyline? Well, Falcons love this map for hardpoint, despite not being able to take many of them. Vegas is here to play. They're getting better, at least that's the hope with every single day. So Nameless, as an analyst, what are you hoping to see knowing that Minnesota is going to bring some aggression?
Yeah, I mean, so when I watch Vegas, to me, it's like super simple. I see them and they're like trying to do the right thing, right? Like we're rotating, we're setting up, and it's just like the next step after that, guys. We get a kill, let's push out the right lanes and try to make the game easier for ourselves. And, you know, these guys, you can see the effort they're putting in. And honestly, like, people have been so hard on them, myself included. I enjoy the storyline, like how stressful it is, like trying to get that first win. When they finally get that win, it's gonna feel so damn good. But yes, Chris, like, get to that next step, man. You gotta take the lead.
It is gonna feel so damn good. And like what's weird about it is like you go into the itty bitty numbers, right? I'm talking the stats of the stats. They're slowly climbing up their ranks in some of these categories, like especially in their side of the control. They went from the worst controlled team in the league. Well, now they have a win or two under their belt and they're 7th overall, and they actually have a pretty strong defense and attack. So for Falcons, the fundamentals have been there. For me, I really genuinely just think it's like the talent, like somebody that a superstar that can go out and get these two pieces and make these miracle breaks that a lot of these other teams have, that really Falcons is feeling the missing piece.
They do the base, like they're like, okay, we're gonna rotate, we're gonna get the standard set up here. After we get a kill, they just lose their mind. Like, what am I supposed to do now? Somebody makes a way too individual play and there's no follow-up on it, right? So you got to think with Clay in that camp, they're going over it. Like, they're being taught these things. Just have to execute and keep your head on straight when you're in these matches.
Random question for you. Back when we started, we had a 5th man. Mr. Rex was one of those guys standing behind Complexity. He was able to talk while the games were going on. Would you ever like to see coaches return to Call of Duty?
I would love to see coaches return to Call of Duty, standing behind the team, helping them out. I know it's like somewhat of a controversial take, but I had coaches standing behind me, and it was awesome, especially like developing younger guys. Like, remember when we first had Jay, like imagine if we could have had a coach standing behind us, like helping us, keeping him calm. Like, it would have just worked out so much better. And for these guys, obviously there's a language barrier, but you could find somebody to come in and help them out, right? So I think it would work.
Let's take a look at their maps and modes today. Did the VOD review lead to success for the Falcons? They will square up on Skyline. That will be your first hardpoint. Vault has a double dose for Search and hardpoint game for, how do you like Hacienda for the Falcons? They were able to take a control off of Boston and then of another map off of LA Thieves.
Well, that is typically Minnesota Røkkr's auto veto. So Minnesota Røkkr here are probably looking to expand their map pool, which leaves some opportunity for Vegas Falcons because they are sitting at 0-2 on it, but they could be a map they can make work in.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I look at Mini and it's like they tried to play a lot of protocol, hasn't really worked for them too much, so they got to get good at Hasi, and it's the same thing for Skyline. Tried to play it a lot, hasn't worked, so definitely testing their map pool, trying to iron things out here.
Last time I took Nero over TJ, Minnesota burned me. Today, I think Nero's back to his form.
I agree.
3 p.m. slot, not a problem. Nero gets it done, Minnesota 3-1.
You had me for a second. I'm going to go Minnesota. I like that you called 3-1. I'll look at you on that one.
I'm going Mini 3-0. I think they get it done, man. This team is a lot better than what people think.
We've got a duo joining us live from the other side of the planet. Actually, just the East Coast. We got Alan, a.k.a. I Hold Shift, and Jeremy Stud. How you doing, guys?
Sometimes it feels like the other side of the planet, though. Tell you what, it's 57 and beautiful out here. Jay, we kind of dressed for a bit of a funeral today. All of us sitting in all black at the moment. I think the biggest thing is, Nero's going to be looking at this matchup saying, time for daddy to feast. He's got to be sitting there saying, who's your daddy? Coming down throughout this matchup. Pop up. Don't have the 3 p.m. sleepies. Let's get to work.
Yeah, Nero alongside Gio, because to watch both of those guys who have been the most consistent players for Minnesota the entire season so far struggle the way that they did versus Carolina, that one caught me off guard because I'm thinking, all right, Minnesota, they've never been 3-0. They never figured a series in a 3-0. Obviously, they get both of those answers in this major so far. So I think if you're Minnesota, you're definitely looking for a bounce back here. And then aside for Vegas Falcons, like Des touched on it, we basically talk about it every single time. It's just when you do the initial thing correctly, it's the steps that follow that. That is the only thing that's struggling right now for them. They are basically dead last in hold percentage. They also already dead last in break percentage. So everything after your winning rotations is just out the window. They need to figure it out.
And I think the thing is, I'm sure the watch party guys are looking at this saying, if we do win a clean kill feed from P2 to P3, let's just not sit there. Let's not be turning into statues. Let's get active. Let's try to find some motion on the map. See what we get today as Minnesota's looking to bounce back after their 0-3 loss. And one thing I say at this point is trying to become a bit of a staple. Vegas will play well in the first rotation of hills. It comes down to what happens after that.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Initially, to start off these hard points, they're always in the game. But when the adjustments start to come on in, they don't understand what they need to do as of right now. But Minnesota keeping it scrappy so far at this P1. Get 8 seconds if you're Falcons, but the rest of the time currently looking like it's going to be running up for Minnesota.
Yeah, 2 kills. All that's going to be turned in here for early Vegas. And Gio's still just playing on this heady, and he's getting gunfights. It's in the firing range. To whom finally able to shut him down, but the time's still accruing for Minnesota. An absolutely perfect start here for the Røkkr.
Yeah, now if you're Vegas, you got to at least push your way through with a couple kills. We found 2 so far in the feed. Try to get aggressive, take a little bit of piano control, and chain a couple kills together to spawn them potentially all the way across the map. They do find 2, but just everybody sitting at that 50-yard line. No one too aggressive. Minnesota's still going to be here.
Yeah, Vegas may be looking for a second wave of eliminations, not trusting they could have gotten the flip, and that is where they get punished in that decision specifically. Wixel King in trouble. At least there's some sort of a trade there from DePaul, but starting to look a little messy here for Vegas. Wixel able to find 1 down low, but spawns will not move nor be blocked, as to whom will finally find a little bit of an entry here to P2.
And where do the spawns now come in? You have more players on this side of the map for Vegas. Just have to find a break and find it quickly. The trade is good enough onto Paul Lex, potentially for the final 25. But if you're Minnesota, you still have 2 players contesting it. The spawns are still going to be close enough. It's not going to be easy. King has to find 3. He can only take down 1. And now the remaining 15 goes in favor of Minnesota.
Yep, absolutely picture perfect for Minnesota. Remember the time back in the opening of the Major 1 qualifiers where we would look at this Minnesota team and they would be miserable in map 1 rotations? They've really started to turn against that touch. So now we head back over to this hard point where when we have seen Vegas play this map, they have found the majority of their time. So far, so good on the opener. Wixel a little bit caught in an awkward spot. Will be dealt with by Estro, who's got an 8-3 start, and Minnesota will find an early break into V3.
And Vegas now to work their way back on quickly. Already find 2, make it 3 kills in the feed. Successful early on the break attempt, but Estrio responds with 2 and instantly shuts that all down. Now with 30 seconds remaining, if you're Vegas, you want to start to slow down the game a little bit because you want to maintain this side of the map going over towards P4. You die here, you're all the way on the opposite side, and this is not the situation you want to be in.
Wow, unbelievable from Paul. I mean, really everyone's frying right now. Nero has had a little bit of a tough time getting things going, just 4-10, but everyone else really clicking right now for Minnesota. Right around a 75-point game. Rotating over to P4, though. Clean exit kills for the Falcons, and that will give them a chance to hopefully get some sort of a setup here on P4 and earn some time.
Yeah, they need this time here. You know where the pressure's going to come in. Everyone is accounted for. Just got to put players in the right positions. Already Exton opened up with a double, finds the pressure reading through top plat. Just going unguarded as his drop down. If Geo makes a couple kills happen, they spawn all the way across the map.
Yep, Geo able to find one. Response towards Exton, not going to be fully there. Nero, oh my goodness, Nero. What is happening with him? 4-13, just not able to lock in, as Exton was surely at about 2 bullets worth of health, just whiffing on everything. Astral able to pick things up and put a little bit of a mix-up towards the spawns in the back, but from the front, Minnesota not able to crack the code, and it's just down to Astral to do what he can.
Yeah, and Astral, at least with that one-on-one gunfight versus the Whom, secures the back spawns for his team. Still have Vegas giving them a run for their money here at P4. That might have been the best hold attempt I've seen from Vegas so far this season. You get at least 35 to 40 seconds there. You're keeping it scrappy for Minnesota to not walk away with the remaining time, and now you're going to only be down by about 30 points going into the second half of this game. You just got to make sure you make the adjustments now going forward, especially from that P1 to P2.
Yeah, I think considering how this map started off in the first 2 hills, you will absolutely take this if you're Vegas. So able to meet exactly what they needed to on P4. Now we go back over towards Hot Tub once again. This is where Minnesota just kind of posted up and were gifted a lot of gunfights. Not the same occurrence, at least to start for this particular setup, but it's a 2v4 situation that Geo and Paul win out, and with that, Minnesota back on the time.
Yeah, Minnesota back on the time, but do not currently have the spawn, so have to be a little bit more aggressive. It's going to be narrow. Catches the timing over to Piano. Give me the freebie number 1. I'll pick up this AR. Look, it shoots pretty well as well. Give me number 2. And now you already have 3 players from Vegas spawning all the way across the map. This is what we talk about with Vegas's game, is that they feel like, okay, we know that we want this side of the map for P2. We want to try to dominate, but they are just not getting the kills on this side of the map, and also applying the pressure on the hard point. You gave up a lot of time there. You just got to make these kills count, and thankfully they were able to do so.
Yeah, I think the thing that we've said a couple of times now about this Vegas team is their ideas are right, but it's either the speed or the level of coordination that comes with the motion that they were trying to put across the map is either not there, or I think more particularly, it comes down to 1 or 2 gunfights that you have to win, and Vegas just are not finding those wins when they matter most. And that kind of occurs here once again as the spawns were blocked for a moment, but Minnesota have gained control, and now they're again just tallying up the score.
Minnesota just going to continue to run up the score. They have all the info. 4 players pushes you, Klitchen, already a clean 4 dead, and a 100-point lead. Let's go step aside and listen to the comms with Minnesota.
There's 2 kids.
Rotating. There's
3 kids.
Nothing tops.
Yo, I guarantee this 1v1.
Yeah. Exit, a bullet new exit close. I'm gonna flank stone.
Close to you. Absolute, there's that time.
I got 80. Both are far like the thing. You right now. Out of table.
Okay, close to you.
Out of table, you and stone. Yo, push him inner left.
Sure.
One more, same spot.
Shot go up, you know?
Oh, he's on my right. I'm gonna bullet.
I'm on
I got wall bang. There's 2 there.
top. Close up.
Line is table weak. On 2 up. 2 bottom table. 1 bottom bed.
That's my bar. Next to them.
Nice. They're on the bar. We can spawn on the bar. We can stop on the bar.
They're gonna spawn on the bed.
Yeah, it's on the bed.
Yeah,
bottom bed. 2-2, I think. Wait till we bottom bed. Nice. I'll try to I got left. Nice. Right. Flood Tommy.
I need Ben.
It could be either. Back right stone. I need your left side.
I'm hitting it right.
I'm trying to get on the wall. I'm not too close.
Do him 1 shot. I'm 1 shot. I'll have it right.
I'm right. You're right.
I'm dead. 2 of them.
How you catch me middle? Close middle. I'm gonna die. 3 there, I think. 3 there. We can go top.
I'm going. Yeah, we are.
I'm 1 top with you. I'll get child right.
Go top.
I think he did. I spawned deep.
Gem. Yep.
Then stone. I'm 1 shot. Can't shot.
He's dead.
Right side.
Yeah,
We can plug Doom. Top stone. I got wall, man. He's behind the table weak though.
You was downstairs on you probably.
Try to play life top for us. Okay. We're coming top. We just bully top.
Yeah, we should.
Top left. Kings.
Top left, 1 shot. Run away.
Backstone, Doom. You challenge it? No.
Sure.
Not that I see.
I don't see that fold. I need the right here.
I need him.
I'm hitting stone.
I got stun. I'm
checking close.
Check up, Raylan. What's up, close?
Check up, Doom.
Egg umbrella, dead.
Dead.
We're gonna flip. We're gonna.
That's good shit.
Fall back right, lean up on the couch. King.
Dead.
I'm hitting top quick. I'm hitting top quick.
Same.
Come. Defense top quick. Weak for you. Weak exit.
I center closet.
It might be 2. It might be. I want to
Center
stop.
closet.
We'll get it left. Nice. 2 more.
Yeah. 3 top.
Yeah, it's just another one of those moments, Jay. You can kind of hear it. Minnesota rotating to P2 to P3. They're saying, oh, they've already rotated. Like, it's just, it almost feels like they're playing the game very one-dimensionally. Of like, we know we have to play for P3 next, so like, let's just all go there. Or like this particular setup, it's just so passive. They don't get a read on where Minnesota are coming from, and you can see the result of that.
Yeah, they're playing 3 players towards the bottom side of bedroom, only relying on one person to watch multiple different angles on that back side. If he dies, he spawns all the way across the map, and now you're pitched from the front and the back end.
Yeah.
Just mistakes again from Vegas. Unfortunately, it's going to lead to another L in hard point. Only need 3 points if you are Røkkr. King is able to find a double to prolong this map a little bit longer, but Minnesota just taking care of business on map 1.
Yeah, absolutely the case. 3 more seconds required. Vegas holding on, trying to make the score a bit more respectable here, but Estriol is still just finding these individual gunfights. Team nade, I don't know how that one comes over from Nero, but it does lead to an opportunity for King to stay alive inside the hard point. Spawns will move though. Geo setting themselves up for new, and with 3 down, now it's just down to finding the last guy inside the hill. Nero will step in, find the final seconds, and it'll be a very comfortable 100-point win for Minnesota in their opening hard point.
Wasn't as comfortable. If you're Minnesota, you want to do a little bit better of a job there at P4, because that's how Vegas were able to keep themselves sort of into this game. Majority of their points came off of that P3 to P4 rotation. But if you are Minnesota, it's good that you add that Skyline W to the cards. Now, they were 2-6 before going into this map. Now make it 3-6. Probably have a couple things that you want to continue to fix moving forward. But on the side of Vegas, we saw it before we even jumped into the listening. It's that P1 to P2 chain. You see the way that they're initially trying to break it, Alan. How you have one person going piano, one person goes top hallway, one person goes kitchen. The last guy's already off the respawn. They're all individually trying to make a play. But then when that gets shut down, now their second attempt was for 4 hitting kitchen. But that's an easy read. You have one person posted up towards the back. He's like, okay, there's a lot of pressure. There's no one over towards piano. Everyone focused to right. And then that leads to a clean forward. That is where Vegas needs to improve their game, is to make those adjustments and give themselves opportunities, not from just one single angle. Because Skyline can tend to be mixy at some points, but no one was hitting zip. No one was trying to catch timings, or at least your teammates pushing off the left side, and then eventually you work the right. It's just right now they have game plan number 1, and if game plan number 1 doesn't work, we're chalking in, rotating new.
That's a really good shout. I think that's exactly what we've seen without question. I think the other side of this is like, you know, for Minnesota, and I think Ann hit this on the deck really nicely, where you're talking about the simple fact that they are seemingly kind of force-feeding Skyline Hardpoint into the map series set. And that may lead to, again, just them trying to improve in certain ways. But on the other side of things here, you know, for Vegas, they've played this map in almost every single series, and it just continues to not get better, it feels like. So it's tough to see without question, but we'll kind of see what happens as the series moves on, as we look towards the Vault Search and Destroy.
Yeah, and the Vault Search and Destroy is, I guess you could say, a decent map here for Vegas, because they do have a win, and it is versus Optic Texas. You won it in a 6-4 fashion, found multiple first bloods, were able to find a lot of success in your post plans. But now you're playing against Minnesota Røkkr, who have infamously been one of the best search and destroy teams that we have in the game. And also, this is one of their stronger S&D maps. So this is a tall battle. I mean, a tall ladder to climb here if you are Vegas.
Word. All right, well, see how things unfold as we continue forward here. And at least for Vegas, I don't know, let's spit some silver linings here. 4-8 search and destroy, so maybe there's something to be told about how they can make something happen here, but they've only played Vault twice, so it's a round 10 winner that they had versus Optic, and then there was a round 11 loss to Carolina in Madrid. So some, I think, reps needed here for Vegas, where on the other side you look at Minnesota. This has been by far one of their best search and destroys. This and Hacienda have been kind of 2 staples for them.
Oh yeah, without question, man. And they just have so many different strategies that they can throw at you on a map like Vault, where you're thinking, okay, you're probably most likely going to instantly work that A-bomb site. but they have different ways of doing that. They also have strategies where they're slowly working over towards B, taking space inside that A side, and then dominating over towards Vault. But the biggest thing that I love about Minnesota on Vault S&D is their retakes. Yeah. Even though they don't really give a lot of opportunities for that bomb to get planted, it's due to the fact that the way that they play. They love to apply that pressure over towards pool side. Isolate the guy that's watching that overextension, but then also catch the timing on the drop down to pool, and that's usually where Nero finds a lot of success. So if you are going to be Vegas and trying to prepare yourself for what Minnesota are going to throw at you, you might have to slow the game down pretty early into this.
Yeah, and I think the other part about this now for Vegas is, do they have a deeper playbook when it comes down to their search? Because I think the thing that we started to notice about these guys is that constructively on maps like Skyline, for instance, it was very, this is what our plan is, and we're going to keep trying to rock small variations of like an A hit, for instance, which very well may be the case on a map like Vault as well. But I'm just kind of curious to see how much they've been able to work on this Vault since the major in particular, because like we mentioned, they've only played it twice. So definitely feels like it has not been a stapled part of their map pool by any stretch of the imagination. It's been, like we said, a lot of Skyline that we've seen out of these guys. And well, I guess at the beginning of the season, we saw quite a bit of protocol from them, where it was just, again, take the simplest bomb site, flood it, plant it, hope our post plant hangs in.
Yeah, I think it's just, if you're Vegas, like just looking at what other teams are doing, like we already seen it a lot throughout this major qualifiers with nade spots starting to hit. We've seen it on protocol control with the new B point. We've seen it on the jump out towards the top side of balcony, instantly trying to work your way in towards A. So if you have that in your back pocket to open up with the first flood, you're going to give yourself a good chance of securing some of these rounds. You just got to be able to just shutting down, not allowing players to get lost. Because if you put an arrow on your base, yeah, you're not going to have a fun time.
Yep. Let's see what happens here. It will be Vegas on the offense first. Nades towards the backside of Pool will not necessarily connect, but Nero Paul able to open things up. Follow-up from King is good, but the trade is already through. Nero just goes completely undiscovered, to whom backside P2 will be overwhelmed, and now it's just down to Exted. He was the one who had planted, and he had gotten a little worse for wear playing down low on the site. Coming back to it, he didn't check the bomb.
Okay, yeah, X did, good try on a 1v3. Definitely want to, check that bomb, make sure no one's defusing in that situation. But you could already see Minnesota with their adjustments on defense. The aggression, setting the tone early on. You know what Vegas love to do, and that's instantly work that bomb plan in towards A. When you find that first blood, effective on the trade, isolate the player over towards Pool, and then at the same time, Nero gets the info on the bomb planner. Just made it a lot easier to just someone stick to the defuse and secure the round.
Yep. Okay. SMG's finding success early for Minnesota, really pushing the tempo. Are they going to keep that tempo up on the offensive side? Looks like they want to. Paul and Gio going to take their efforts towards the outside of Palms, while Nero will just dive right into the site. Throws a couple of shoulders early after being hit up by nades. Damage good from the first. Whoa! What is that from Nero? A heck of a transfer over. Gets the trade plus an extra. We're going to 2v2 post plant.
Yeah, Nero most likely is not going to leave this site. He's going to be the guy to hold it down. And hoping that Gio can catch an angle on this pinch. But Vegas, they're going to retake from Pool, and they have the numbers to work their way to isolate Nero.
Oh, Gio's seen one slide across, though. Yep, that will confirm it. Shots will have Dahum down. Semtex over the top. Follow-up from Wixel, though. Good isolation. Nero now should surely know that there's going to be a play largely from Pool side. Steps away, and as he does, Wixel finds him mid-map. Plenty of time for the defuse, and we'll go 1-1.
Oh, fantastic plays right there on the retake. If you're Vegas, obviously take control of Pool, gain info early on, isolate onto Gio, and then you know that Nero was the bomb planner. You make sure you attack it from a different angle. Don't want to allow him to get on out and potentially catch an angle from Pool flank. But Wixel plays it perfect. Able to catch the timing, finds also 3 on the round for Vegas to take the round.
Heck of an effort, though, from Nero. Now we'll start to find out how dynamic is this offensive playbook going to be for Vegas. Similar break off, but it is just going to be exited this time, playing over into the bomb site. Tagged by nades, but still commits for the plant. More help from Vegas on this post plant through mid-map this time.
And how do Minnesota decide to retake this? You have Estriel trying to play Fanfo over towards Pool. He At least is able to spot Doom now. But look at the aggressive play coming in on the opposite side from Exit. He takes down Estrio, makes it a 2v2.
Yeah, and the post plant will move, but Exit has been seen. You have to chase down this elimination, and they will. So now it's just down to one. It's Wixel. Oh, and his timing here could be incredible. Up and over. Checks. No one's on for the defuse. Geo thinking about it. Shots from Wixel coming through. Oh, he's running out of ammunition. No! All he had to do was kill off a couple extra seconds. Didn't even need to take the shots versus Geo if he didn't want to. He saw no one was on for the defuse.
Maybe a little trigger discipline right there. Allen could have secured him that round. As we take a look at it again, there's only 12 seconds remaining on the game clock. Obviously, you spot Geo in towards the site, but he's still not defusing. But then the shot's just not able to connect. Allows Minnesota to just slide on out, double chow, and catch him with his pants down. Røkkr, so far, take back-to-back defenses. Vegas respond with defenses of their own. Who's going to walk away with the first attack?
Similar break off here for Minnesota. Paul going to try to assist by jumping up and over, but look at this route from Exted. Timing could be exquisite for him. But Nero's found first blood. That's going to turn Exted's attention back over towards top halls, which he at least finds the trade confirmed. Wixel also winning towards Palms leads us to a 2v3 post plant.
Oh, it's a big kill to take down Geo over towards poolside. Because now, you know, the last two players are most likely trapped in towards the bomb. Don't have any tacks in the back pocket for Doom and Wixel, so they're just going to have to slide in with ARs.
Oh, nice little deep shoulder coming through. Oh! Wow! No way! He gets the one through the drop, and then all of a sudden, spins, slides, finds both remaining Falcons stacked on top of each other, and Astral's going to pull off a 1v3 for the ages.
Yeah, that just can't happen right there, Alan. Like, 1v3, obviously we are approaching it from both ends of the site, but we line up right there for Estriel to make that double kill at the very end a lot easier. They were just thinking, okay, it's three of us, one of him, we're going to be able to get this trade, but Estriel just plays it to perfection, isolates the player dropping down through mid-vault, and then just lining up the next two, secures around there for Minnesota. They are now starting to pull away in this search and destroy. Falcon said, all right, enough of this. Everybody playing isolated. Let's force that inside.
Yeah. Plant is not set up, though, for the post plant towards the vault stairs, but this double stack will at least allow the isolation onto two. So now you've got a 4v2 situation. Nero up and in. First shots are good. Can't turn it into a second. King still in the corner, leaving Paul now by himself, working for his opportunity for a 1v3. But with an AR, this is going to be a very tough code to crack. Or is it? He already slides on in, and wow, the shots were clean, but the SMG is just too good up close.
Yeah, I love the adjustments right there from Vegas to not really rely on these one-on-one plays. That's just 4 hits something, and it works out. So they find 2 players trying to approach the backside at that B site. Turn it instantly into a 4v2. Even though it does get scary once it turns into a 2-on-1, and then he catches the timing to work his way in towards the bomb, but effective with the shots. Able to lead to a round victory for Vegas.
Have to keep composure here for Vegas after a couple of missed opportunities at this point, especially from the defensive side. Wixel's on 7. Top KD in the lobby for the moment. Nades up and over. Largely not going to hit here. Now there's a trophy system down for Estro to work with. Oh, look at this little drop down over through hole. It's read perfectly by Minnesota. It's just the timing of that play did not fully come through. Now Doom's by himself, 1v3.
Yeah, he shot a spot if anyone's going to exit towards the site. Obviously, he looks at both angles. But he has a lot in front of him. Arrow just throwing shoulders, gaining the F over towards pool. Everyone is now just going to turn around.
Yep. Yeah, Nero's just going to keep on this little dance, sliding back and forth. Yeah, both players inside the site. Yeah, just going to force the issue. No worries there. And Paul's just chuckling about it. Minnesota having a little bit of fun with it, but score's still pretty tight, all things told, considering the nature of how some of these rounds have ended.
Yeah, 4-2 difference. Minnesota obviously feel comfortable with the way that they're currently playing. Some adjustments potentially need to come in on their attacking side. But they already showed it there, where they just full-on sent every player in towards the side. That's what we saw them do at the major when they were down 5-1 in their series. on this map specifically. They just said, all right, none of our strategies are working. Let's just 4-hit the bomb. And that works out because Vegas were just late to the party. We just sent 3 people to drop in towards Volt. Already 10 seconds into the round, completely blind with no info. Yeah, easy couple of kills there for Røkkr and an easy round.
Similar setup this time, although this time Minnesota's defense gonna hard play through Vault stairs. And now they're all here. It's all nades off and in. Finding damage on both sides, but Minnesota have stopped the plant for now. RCXD also being committed here. Drops on into whom's gonna be weak by that, and now the SMGs can just fly on forward. 2 for 1 the exchange. Wixel trying to set up a pinch, not gonna get there, and Minnesota take a quick round.
Yeah, they were just ready. They said, all right, you caught us off guard with that 4-play push through that A side last go around, but this time we're gonna send every single player through there. And even if we gain that info that you're going to be on this side, let's invest the RC to back you down from the setup and also now allow you to instantly work that bomb plant. As we take a look at the replay again, the RC car is wall running. Whom gets caught in a corner, and then everything else after that is just trade, trade, trade. Minnesota, game point.
Yep. You got to be thinking, let's just run it down their throats here. A little bit more pressure here for Vegas. Again, early through the middle of the map. This time it will not be followed up by that drop down we saw from the last defensive attempt. And with another trophy system ready, Minnesota will get to work on a 4v4 post plan.
How do Vegas decide to retake this? How much time are they going to waste trying to think that someone is over towards poolside, has to be watching this pitch? They have cleared out a lot of that space. They should gain the info now, so they're probably stacked in towards side again.
Yeah, trophy system denying the opening utility, all of it. Nothing is getting through. Trophy finally fades away. Is there anything left here for Vegas to use to try to dive on in? Opening shots. Will at least allow a trade. Nero not able to get this follow-up, leaving Geo by himself, but the last 2 players are weak, and Geo comes through, finds the final 2, no worries. And Minnesota don't let off the gas. Quickly 2-0 up.
Yeah, just a clean search right there for Minnesota. Obviously, they need to make a couple of adjustments early on into the game, especially on their attacking rounds. They said, okay, they just keep on picking us apart over on the outskirts by pool, so let's just start stacking in towards the site. And that was their go-to recipe, basically, for the last 4 rounds, 5 rounds straight. They did it every single time on their defense, just dropping down through mid-vault, not allowing Vegas to contest it on the later half of the game, and then same thing for the offense. Just send your SMGs. Let's start these fights. Hopefully, we're able to come out on top. They dominate in the first blood category 6-2.
Yep.
That is the final score for them to be up 2-0.
Yep. Whom not able to get anything going in the search. Not for lack of trying. His damage is right there. Everybody else just couldn't finish off elimination. So with that, we have a 250, 150, a 6-2, and now a Hacienda control coming up next after our short intermission here. Where Minnesota, I mean, I think this is a series we needed to see them come out in 3-0. Simply put, I think the way that I look at this team is they play almost at the level of their opponent at times, where they're upsetting some of the top dogs. They're playing a lot of them tight, but they also have like some losses that you go, well, what happened to the other team that we saw from the other day? Not today. Looking pretty clean for it as we head back to the desk on their way to a possible 3-0.
We were worried about the 3 o'clock slot. Nero, little sluggish in that first hard point.
I'm telling you, bro, when we interview Nero, I gotta ask him what time he goes to bed at night. Because when they play at 3, he comes out slow as hell, man. Lock in.
Allie, the good news is he locked in for game 2. He drops double digits, the only player in the lobby to do so in S&D, and he does it in just 8 rounds. Talk to me about the difference on Vault, because this was a one-sided affair.
I don't know if it was so much the difference other than maybe that map 1 got him warmed up, because, I mean, this was a textbook Vault for me when it comes to the side of Minnesota Røkkr. I think Jay explained perfectly. I mean, they were just sending 2 guys bottom Vault, whether it was defense or offense. They were ready for that push, and, I mean, they were just allowing the plant constantly on the side of Falcons. And Minnesota Røkkr, you're going to give it to them. I mean, they've got one of the best SMG duos sitting right now, so they're going to take advantage of it.
I'm going to give you guys some dive analysis here.
Hit me.
Vegas is legit. Like, I mean, this map's a square up, right? They're getting just pieced, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be like, I'm watching this and I'm like, okay, all right, they're bottom ball. How are we gonna approach this? We're gonna send 2, bait and switch and try to execute this kill. They're literally lining up for Ezreal. You're seeing pieces left and right, like guys not checking the corners, not even going for the trade. This map was an absolute disaster on the side of the Vegas Falcons in Search and Destroy, which has been their best game mode all year long. So it seems like things in the camp are getting a little bit worse with the criticism, with the stress of not finding victories. It looks like they're falling apart, to be honest.
And of course, in Skyline, you saw a 100-point difference. You saw a little bit of a late rally from the Falcons, but Minnesota controlling. Why? Well, you got Gio on the team. He's just got to play the game. The man drops a 1.9 with 2 minutes of hill time, Allie. He's patting the stats.
My God, Gio is so good. My favorite thing about Gio is he's such like kind of like an underdog story of like nobody was really talking about Gio. I feel like until like this year, until we've seen like kind of what he's done to this Minnesota Røkkr roster. He's added like this level of consistency that I feel like a lot of these players haven't had. Like when we interviewed Paul, we talked about usually at the beginning of the game I start off a little bit slow. When we saw Nero and Boston Breach, I felt like he was a really inconsistent SMG, and I feel like it might be on Gio.
He is the most underrated player in the league, and he like low-key has been since last year on the Vegas team. Like he's been phenomenal. Gio is a beast, consistent, and he can take over games.
I'm going to tell Estriel you said that. Let's take a look here at our next game. It's called Hidden Heroes, and if you're watching for the first time, I'm going to give you 3 facts. And of course, 4 silhouettes. You have to tell me who these players are. Now, big hint before you start, Nameless, none of these players are simp. Second big hint, these are all mid-season pickups.
Okay, I'm gonna go top left Wixel.
I think it's who?
A 1.26, it's done.
Overall point is too low.
All right, fair enough.
All right, Rally Cat, you're
suck
up.
at this.
Bottom right is Hook, I think. Oh my God.
0.96?
Wait, hold on, just to be fair.
After seeing a 14 kill
You guys saw this in the rehearsal.
Stage
I
one?
didn't.
I didn't see this.
Show me a Hook.
Right.
In the top right. I was there sitting on the couch when she saw the graphic.
I did not see
Let's
it.
take
Hold on,
a look.
I swear I did not see it.
In the top right, first match was in stage 2. Overall, it's a 1.01.
Lunars.
It's got to be King, right?
That's Lunars.
Lunars, you think?
Top right, yeah.
Is S&D a point? It's Lunars.
Oh,
And bottom
nice.
left is
Good
Neptune.
shout.
Neptune? Is it Neptune?
Only a 0.96?
I'm nasty.
A
good job.
1.17. Nameless gets 2 of the 4. Allie gets Hook. I missed. Let's move on. Game 3's loading up right now. Is it a hot 3-0 study? If so, is it a 3-0 within a 3-0?
Yeah, it's a 3-0, Alan. It might be a 3-0. I mean, Pucky, I'm sorry, Chris. I was just using
tell me to, it's fine.
It's 3-0. It's 3-0. I'm telling you. It's most likely going to be a 3-0 because Vegas just don't really play a lot of Hasi. They're struggling in control. They don't have 2 wins on Vault. Everything else besides Vault hasn't really treated them well. And then the opposite side for Minnesota, you throw this in versus a team who don't really finalize this. That's just to test it. So they're going to be playing it for the very first time. But just the way that they're playing, their teamwork right now is on point. This is going to be a tall task for Vegas to even think about forcing a map 4.
I think, again, zooming out away from this particular series, I do like the idea here that Minnesota is not just out here playing for wins. They're playing out here to build on their map pool. And again, it's easy, I think, to do that when you're playing up against the bottom teams in the league, but we've seen them do that across really this entire stage to this point. So I really love that idea from them. Try to get this as a chance to build yourself up for not just the minor coming next week, but when you eventually get to Dallas, because I think there's a level of, our top, well, we'll say top 4 teams right now, currently by the standings, those are all championship caliber teams. I think there's still a level, and I think we talked about this maybe last week, where it's just like, there's something about this Minnesota team of where is their ceiling? It feels like it's a little bit lower than, your super teams that are out there, your big dogs that are out there. But the way you combat against that narrative is by building out your map pool and finding ways to counter those teams deeper in towards tournaments if you continue to find success. So I love that they're trying to throw something new into the mix, and we're gonna get our first look here to see how Røkkr handled this Hasi out of control.
Yeah, if you're asking if Røkkr can slay with the best of them, yeah, you best believe the SMGs are about to cause mayhem in their face when they get their opportunities. But already to start off this game, Vegas know that the push is most likely to be over towards this B point. They find the initial 2 kills, but it's 3 for 2 in favor of Røkkr. Still gives them a lot of map control to work with.
Estriel just diving, trying to dodge, and teammate over the top, lands on the Dahoom's head. That's going to be a second tick of progress likely done. As long as Estriel doesn't forfeit his life here. And yeah, he's going to step up a little bit further in towards 10. Nero working with him top office as here comes Paul to try to get back onto the zone. Nero up and over. Trades are decent. Third tick of progress being worked on. Help is on the way from Gio, but Paul doesn't really need the help. Still got it anyways. And we got 2:12 on the clock.
2:12 on the clock, and they also take care of Exnid, who was trying to play for a couple spawners. Already found himself off the rotation over towards this 8 point. Not a single play from Vegas currently in the position to take him down. But this is a scary situation to be in because already Estrio finding 1 kill, they find another 2, and they're instantly going to start stacking.
Yep. First hit done, second on the way. Paul pushing the issue, finding himself his 3rd elimination. Nero picking up the pinch, catches Wixel on sprint. And it's just one of those moments here where Vegas need to get together, but it's another solo shell coming through. I mean, we've talked about this a couple of different times where it's just one by one they drop in and one by one they will fall. A very quick offense for Minnesota.
Yeah, realistically, that only took about 26 seconds because they instantly jumped their way onto the B point. They lost the initial 2 gunfights, but then the last player standing was able to secure that final segment. His teammates off the respawn, get aggressive over through Rock, keep them trapped in their base. And just make that round look very, very easy. And that's not how Hasi plays, I promise you. Like, you usually want to send, especially if you're the team on defense, your best bet, especially as an SMG player, is to just get pushed out to their side. Like, you don't have to be aggressive in certain situations. You can count how many players are coming off the respawn, but you just have to be in positions to where you can contest as soon as they jump on these points. Make it more difficult for them to find you. Not as easy as it was in that round 1.
Yeah, just, again, coordination things coming to fruition. As Vegas will have Exton just dive right on over into the A zone. Objective focus, to be sure. AR's trying to watch the high ground, but again, it's just those are the moments where it's like these 1v1s that just don't fully come through lead to these 2v3s that Minnesota just keep cleaning up on. And another one of those moments where you look at and say, it's just tough, man. Like Ant said, they're just getting beat.
Yeah, it just hasn't been close so far in this series. They're just simply getting outclassed. Right now, with a minute left to work with, though. Still trying to work for a couple segments. Almost have that first one done at A. An unfortunate team kill on the cards for Doom. But look at how trapped they are in their spawn.
Oh, no.
You're getting taken? Oh, we're getting taken. Oh.
This is... No, we can't be doing this. And he's looking for kills. Oh, mercy me. Not like this. Not like this, Jay.
Yeah, that's the second time I think we've seen that. We saw Hydra do it a couple weeks ago, and now Nero follows him up on it. Just having fun in this match so far. 25 seconds left to fight for. And if you are Vegas, this is where your last push is going to be here. Over towards, well, you have to get on B.
And there's just not a route. Gio's holding the front door. Vegas off spawn, looking to try to find something over towards A. Exit finding the first. Wixel trying to clear things out on the high ground, and there should be a chance to dive on into the point, but there's still a mystery of where are the rest of the Minnesota defenders.
They have no idea. Like, if you're Wixel, you have no idea what you're supposed to look at when you jump on that A point. So many different angles that they can take you down from. Now leads to a 3-net, exited at 2 and 9. Last player on the B point. You need some miracle. Unfortunately, he is going to get taken down, and that is going to be the round. Minnesota Røkkr. I don't really know if they're good at the map right now or if they're just playing against Vegas, but you got to be feeling good that you're up 2-0 the way that you are.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could take a look at how they're playing the map from like the mini-map's perspective, and they are making good reads, good plays. I mean, yeah, there is a level of they're also winning some egregious gunfights and taking people hostage and things like that. Like, there is a level of that, but I will say I think there is something to be told about this Minnesota team. First time on the map, looking pretty solid for it. And here is how, well, here's how Dahum was taken hostage, and he's like, help me, please help. Just spamming the square button. But yeah, I do have to say, I think the way Minnesota have played their first offense and how they've been able to kind of understand their advantages on defense have looked good.
Now they have an opportunity to close it out on this attack. A whole lot of pressure again over towards B. They're trying to change the narrative and at least turn the gunfights initially in their favor. Gio just rips one onto the X-Nid. Progression being paused. Wixel and Dahum, though, they find 2, so they're able to instantly shut down this play.
Yep. 12 and 3 for Estro. He is having a field day. Here in the control, tough gunfight there over the top of the rock wall, not going to work out. Gio also denied by King, so here we go. Vegas, just a 4-for-1 in the opener. Still tallying more eliminations behind this. Nero trying to give a little bit of a workout over to Exit's direction, but that'll be enough at least for the kills to continue to go the way of Vegas.
All right, they've only died one so far, so they're keeping up with this lane. They shut down that initial push, and now you have Minnesota trapped in the back of their spawn. The ideal setup that you want to be in, but you're not going to be able to read that route there from Gio. Lines up the freebie onto King. Doom effective on the trade, and with 35 seconds left, Minnesota, no, we got to get on B. We got to try to extend this game clock.
Yep. Chance for it. Nice shots from Estriel up top towards the patio. Nero going to be freed up to try to hunt that one down. Not able to tally,
Alan, look,
and will just
look at
make
the
his way up towards office.
Look at the minimap, Alan. You see exit right now?
Yeah, he is in P2. I was about to say the same thing. It's like, are we going for this or not?
Eventually, we got to get ourselves back into the play because your teammates are just going to be overwhelmed on the complete opposite side of the map. Finally, he gets himself back in, but it's a 3-for-1 trade. Second segment already secured. And now time is going to be extended. Now you got to be able to work your way and know that there's a lot of players coming off the respawn. How do we set up for these easy kills?
Yeah, Estriel will be shut down on the exit. Nero back up top office once again. Has a freebie. Nero again.
No way.
Oh, tried for it. Not able to grab it, but Lifely down to just a single one. Exit trying to follow up the play through top fire hall, but time is ticking away here, and it looks like Minnesota are still trying to feed for kills.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Gio's just hoping that he can put a couple more players in the back of their spawn off the respawn. But as they try to do that, they all get cut down. So a clean 3 dead. Now leaves Nero, last player here to contest. Has an AR in hand, not the preferred weapon for that kind of gunfight. But 50 seconds still to go. Vegas up 4 lives.
Nice challenge there from Wixel. Little stun chow for him, able to isolate. Estriel trying to hunt down Wixel, but he's out of there. 35 seconds on the clock, 16 playing 10. Vegas have reestablished some good defense here, and they've moved across the map as well. But this is where the problem comes. Can you start to win these 1v1s and really put this round out of question?
20 seconds to go. Just 1 wave of kills is all you are looking for if you are Vegas, but 2 go in favor of Røkkr.
Oh, no.
Make it 3 in favor of Røkkr. Everyone spawning over towards 10. The double stack is good enough for the first second to be locked. Vegas got to go.
Good send text from Gio, kills off more time. Second tick of progress already on the way. Shots from Gio, good. Not able to get the transfer though. Exited with the trade. Third tick on the way. Exit has to pop up over to the windowsill. Still on the point is Nero. Shots are good for the kill. The double stack is in. Oh, it's a 3-0. What else can you say?
There is truly nothing to say, Alan. Just another day in the office if you are Minnesota, and another day in the office if you are Vegas Falcons. Just another L that you got to hold to the chinny chin chin. This one was a little bit more disrespectful, though, because you play maps that you usually find yourself playing a lot. Minnesota don't really like to play Skyline, but they play Skyline versus you. Vault S&D, you at least have a couple reps on it. You're feeling good, but it's also a really good map for Minnesota. And then when you get to the Hossie, they play for the very first time, and you got people getting assassinated, taken from behind, and it's just not good. But it's just like the way that Vegas play Control, Alan, sort of like the way that they play Hardpoint. They're just relying on individuals to make a play. And then when the other players on the team are supposed to help them, sort of, because with X did the way that he was over towards P2 at Garage, you eventually know that all the press is coming from Well. But his play is not to work the pinch and set up that free couple of kills that are going to be right in front of him. His play is to rat back to try to get back with his teammates off the respawn, which that doesn't make any sense. Like, they have no idea that you're already in that position. You can flank them and open up a 2-piece, spawn them all the way on the opposite side of the map. But it's just like, he just probably doesn't know what he needs to do in that situation, man. And that's what we continue to say when we watch this Vegas Falcons squad. They just know step one, everything after that, out the window.
On the other side, pretty much what you would expect, and that's good news for Minnesota Røkkr fans after their defeat earlier this weekend as we head things back to the desk and continue on with our Sunday.
Thank you for the 7 minutes between halftime and the post-match wrap-up here. Let's take a look at what we just witnessed in Control, because Minnesota dominant. Nero taking people hostage multiple times in the same game, man. At least he went for it.
Yeah, he's going for it, man. He's starting to have a little bit of fun. You heard Jay. It's like getting disrespectful. That happens sometimes when you start to feel yourself within a series. Yeah, Minnesota, man, doing some good things, trying to expand their map pool. I don't know why in the hell they weren't playing Hacienda prior to this match. I mean, I get that this is versus Falcons, but they played that great, like stacking when you need to, pushing out the spawns, Gio getting active, like just being in their base and being annoying with the AR, holding them into their spawn. So like, yeah, Røkkr adding this to their map pool is going to do wonders for them versus the top teams.
Do you think he was in game chat? I don't see his mouth moving. I was trying to see. I wonder if he's in game chat, like whispering in his ear. But I mean, that is great for Minnesota Røkkr. Hacienda, they hadn't played this control yet. They were banning it 83% of the time. So clearly something was going wrong in scrims on this map. They decided to test it out today, and hopefully we'll see more of it in the future. Estriel had a wonderful map number 3. It feels like all these players just keep getting better every time we see them.
Yeah, like Røkkr have been putting in work in control. Like they're one of the best vault control teams, right? So you don't want to play them there. They're clearly working on their Hasi, and they've played protocol 7 times in their last 10. So control has been a pain point for them, and they're ironing out their issues. They're scary, bro.
Great to see this team bounce back after getting blanked. Minnesota back in the mix. Do they finish top 4 at the minor next week?
Man, actually, I see a world where they definitely can. I mean, they're right there in that mix with some of those teams. Like I have them, Toronto, Carolina, all kind of in the same gray area.
Allie, they're hoping this man can lead them to victory. Once again, he goes by the name of Gio, and if you missed it the first time around, here's a second look at your Scuff play of the game, a 1.9. He just did it all.
I mean, that boy is shooting. What's funny is I remember why we were looking at clips from last year, and I was just looking at the aim assist, and I was like, wow, last year it was insane. I feel like we're seeing a little bit of the flexing of the sights when it comes to some of these teams this year, because like Simp yesterday as well, Gio today, like these boys are shooting straight.
Yeah, I mean, Gio's been good since he came to the league, honestly.
Yeah.
He's been unbelievable. I just let out a tweet, like, can we just all collectively agree he is the most underrated player in the league as it stands? Like, cool, calm, and collected, and solid in all 3 modes.
What are you giggling about?
The phrasing, I just let out a tweet, was not the word I was expecting. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk to Gio, though, and ignore my childish behavior. Gio, welcome to the show, my guy. It's the winner's circle, and we missed you after last match, but the team bounces back and had fun today. For you, though, what are the goals leading up to minor and then, of course, major 2?
Man, we want to win, bro. That's the goals. We want to win. But to win, we got to be better at search. Got to keep our response consistent and just expand our control and make sure we stay good, stay consistent, bro.
Lot to do.
Of course. Gio, it looks like you guys are trying to expand that map pool just a little bit. Which map is your favorite and why?
Man, my favorite, man, Vault, man. I just like the gunfights.
Yeah.
It's all like long range gunfights, man. Vault's my map, bro.
Gio, every time I hear you talk, like prior to a match or with your team, it's just utter confidence. And I feel like your team has taken up that mentality. Where does that come from? Was it from challengers? Like, give me a breakdown of that confidence.
Man, I just always had confidence in myself. I always knew I could do it. My teammates always gassed me. Everyone I play with always gassed me. My teammates gassed me. We all gas each other, so my confidence is always gonna be like through the roof. I'm challenging everything.
And a follow-up to that, I want to ask, what time does Nero go to bed, bro? Because when you guys play at 3 o'clock, he gets slammed early in series. Please tell me, is he a night owl?
He's an early bird. He's an early bird. He goes to bed like around 11, 12.
That is cap. That is cap, bro.
Nah, not cap, bro.
All right.
He's early bird. He's early bird.
Tell him to move up that coffee about 30 minutes.
I got you.
Hey, Gio, congrats on the win. We'll see you soon.
I appreciate it, man.
The most underrated player in the league, according to Nameless, and he's a humble guy. Nero and crew get their first win of the day for Minnesota. When we come back, is it LA Thieves or is it Toronto battling back to the top? I got faith in the Ultra. Do you have faith in Hydra?
Oh, yeah.
Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
The Esports World Cup is an official partner of the Call of Duty League.
Too weak. One more. Weak. Get killed.
There's two.
You can refill your secret in a second.
She's one more back door.
I know your secret. Back door. One shot.
Holy
Eric.
Nice one.
Nice, Eric. Good story, man.
You can't kill me. What the frick? I have a streak.
We're good.
Take it on the chin. Get ready for the next round.
Wow. Okay. Well, something to note. Never f***ing dive off that ever again.
Search and destroy.
Wow. Okay.
To get all the trades, and Simp by himself might have enough. Simp! The master at work! A two-man stack now on A. He is completely locked in. This is it. This is your tournament. Thieves, the last chance now in the fight. Forward they go, and it's Simp, Cell, Draza, the whole squad! FaZe! They've done it! Destiny manifest!
The 2025 LA Thieves team pack is available now. Each pack includes home and away operators, as well as this spray, which is perfect. So get it meow next time you boot up, suit up at the in-game shop.
Make sure we're counting names, listening to each other. Listen. This time, we take everything.
Welcome back to the Call of Duty League. Pucking alongside Rosalie and Nameless, and we're jumping into match 2 of a 3-match day. This one, probably the most important. If you're looking at what's going to happen in the minor, this could give you a preview of who is playing in a grand final.
No, that's totally true. We're looking at what could be a grand finals matchup for sure. But from the side of Toronto Ultra, like a couple of things has taken a couple dips. So I'd like to see where they hang in this series and retrospect to the league.
Let's take a look at our teams competing here today. And Nameless, just tell me, why is LA Thieves so dangerous despite losing back in Madrid?
Sure. They're unbelievable in Respawn. The best Respawn team in the world. I mean, even edging out Atlanta FaZe, right? You can see the swagger and confidence on each one of these guys. Envoy in the latest interview, like willing to call people out, something we've never heard from him before. So clearly, Team Scrap is rubbing off on him a little bit. And these guys, I mean, recently in Hardpoint, have been beating teams by 100+. And they will take you to any map. Like, their worst map's Protocol, 1-1 on it, right? Like, these guys, like, they're comfortable basically going anywhere, and they've been improving in their search and destroy as well. And the last part of this equation, though, Chris, is we said it earlier, we haven't seen the final form of Hydra yet.
True. On the left side of your screen, we have Scrap and Envoy, who were wearing Toronto Ultra jerseys last year alongside Insight and Kleenex. So we've got some bad blood potentially brewing in this matchup. Toronto Ultra, underdogs, right?
Yes, I'd say in this series right now they are the underdogs, simply because they've dropped in a couple of areas. Their fundamentals and hardpoint are still really hurting them. In that series versus Boston, and both hardpoints, they were on the back foot. It felt like the entirety of rotations for the maps 1 and maps number 4. So they've got to clean it up just a little bit, but their S&D is kind of keeping them in a lot of these series, and they're a star-studded roster, so they're going to steal a respawn if it comes down to it. Control's another big focus for them. They are the worst attack team in the league right now. That's not going to hang versus a team like LA Thieves.
And we took a look at the numbers. Joe Deceives way better at hardpoint this qualifier than he was throughout the Major 1 qualifiers. Is it enough to compete against the best HP team in the game?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say it's enough because Thieves have just been so good. But what we saw last year is Joe Deceives can go up against anybody, right? When he's playing his game, he can fry anybody. Kleenex has done it so many times throughout his career. But this team, I think they kind of know they're never going to be the dominant hardpoint team, right? It's going to be done through those search and destroys, and that's kind of the buildup of this team. We saw it versus Boston. 2, 3, 5, easy.
What are the search and destroys? Time to find out. Control could be the swing game 3, and if we get there, it'll be protocol to finish for LA Thieves. Otherwise, I got Toronto Ultra forcing a long one. Skyline will be game 4 and 5. What do you see, Alley Cat?
It's a little bit of a back and forth. That map 1 heavily favors LA Thieves. You're talking 5-0. On the flip side, though, you add to the red card S&D. That's going to favor the Toronto Ultra. The protocol is a little bit of a toss-up. It's going to be both of their strongest controls, and then later half of that series in Skyline, it's really going to come down to those SMGs, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, you know, looking at Toronto and like their hardpoint, I have written down like Vault, Hasi, or Red Card. One of those they have to figure out adds to their map pool, or they're just going to get gapped by these teams at the top that have the wider one. So Red Card clearly probably one they've been working on in practice. Could start off early here and show us something we haven't seen.
Are we going to a game 5? I'm going to say no.
No, I think we're going to game 4.
We had just 9 games, a whole lot of 3-0s. In fact, half of the games this season have gone to a game 5. This one's a 3-0 LA Thieves.
Really?
3-0 LA Thieves is crazy. I'm going to go 3-1 LA Thieves, so we're not going to break our tie just yet, Chris.
LA Thieves?
I'm going LA Thieves.
Come with us.
3-2.
Come with us. Well, the fans means we're wrong. Toronto, congrats on your win. Let's send it over to Miles. And Ton! Welcome back, Christopher Ton!
Oh, my guy.
Ton, before,
I freaking love you, mate.
Before we run away, how have you been? And tell me about this gold chain. You stealing Ant's drip?
Dude, he's dripping.
It's not gold. I'm not here permanently anymore. I can't afford that. But other than that, you know, I'm having a really good time.
Love you, buddy. Good to see you.
That does mean, though, folks, we do have some bad news. Chance is getting the BBL reduced today. He's getting it taken away. It didn't quite work out. It wasn't what he was looking for. And I think he couldn't even get on the flight home because of the size of the thing. All right, boys and girls, it's time to go. Ton, we've been blessed with a fantastic series. Thieves, Toronto Ultra. Should be good, right? I mean, you heard the deaths, a little bit of love towards the respawn from Thieves. S&D, not that good, though.
Yeah, no, S&D has been a bit of a struggle for them, absolutely. That's where the biggest disparity between these two teams really lies across the entirety of the series. Respawn, yeah, okay, things have been looking fantastic for LAT. Number 1 in control, number 1 in hardpoint. You expect that to be the way the series kind of goes, right? But Toronto, the middle of the road, they can definitely pull something up towards the back end of this series, but those first 3 maps maybe look a little struggle outside of the S&D. So really curious to see how it goes down. We could be seeing all 5 miles, to be honest with you, and well, you know, I'm only here once at the moment, so 5 maps would be nice.
Let's milk you for what you've got your hand out,
exactly.
Man. Let's milk you. Game 5, love it. Yeah, I think the Deaths, though, they're feeling that 3-0. It's very, very possible. Hydra, though, the Phenom, has he got what it takes to turn up here in BO6? Everyone expects it. Hasn't had to be there yet, though, and that's fine. They've still made the finals in Major 1. They look good in Minor 1. Now we put them up against Ultra. Here we go, straight into P1.
I'm surprised it's the first time that we've seen these two teams mix it up. First time that we've seen Scrap going up against his former organization as well. But this guy on this map has been insane. It really has been the ARs for the side of Thieves that have been doing the business. Ultra on the other side of things, it's been, well, Joe Deceives. He's really the only shining light that we have seen on Red Card. So let's see if we can start to get some roots going. See if they can maybe lock in on something along those lines. But LA Thieves, the ARs have been dominant. Ultra will have to step it up.
Yeah, there's subs as well, man. I mean, we've seen some difficult performances out of Kleenex recently. And so far, I mean, 0-1. I wasn't going to say anything really, folks. We've got time. We've got our hard point that's wide open right now. And Ghosty cut down once again. Insight starting things off hot. Yeah, is it bad blood or is it just, it's your old boys going up against each other in a smooth hard point so far?
Looking out well for Hydra. Finds a couple over towards P1. And not a bad amount of time for Thieves. But Ultra taking the majority away. We head back over towards P2. Yeah, I'm interested really to see how these SMGs do kind of go down, because we are expecting it to lean one way for the side of Thieves, but Hydra with a good start, it's going to have to continue if the side of Thieves want to continue doing what they're doing right now, which is inside the point, picking up time, and find plenty of kills.
And they turn it into a war on one front. Yeah, man. Spawns towards the top side right now for the Thieves as well. Can they trap Ultra in? So far, so good. Scrap finding a couple. Ghosty now soaking away, purring, just like that weapon charm in game, folks. Or is it a sticker? I forget. Spray? Who knows these days? Joe the Thieves there trying to find the break, now fighting their way forward. Good stuff there out of Beans and Joe. They get a couple either side. Joe keeps it going. 6 and 4. Being brought down there by your boy Envoy. Take 2.
Yeah, really good start from Envoy. Sending it 7 and 3, and there's potential for some good time here for the side of Thieves. Stretch Ultra out, but now all of a sudden the rotation is going to be coming in. You can already see number 7 insight on your mini-map. Ready and waiting as we head over towards P3. So Thieves will be happy for that little bit of time they managed to get a hold of. It's a healthy little lead. Heading over towards the next hill, but they are very much the second ones there.
Early time, we'll take that for now. Still a 20-ish point game right now with the Ultra Boys on the climb back up inside. A nice angle. Not a single kill to be found though there for the Ultra lads. Damn, they are down. Thieves, an immaculate break, trapped in the back now. Ultra, good luck, have fun with this one. The lead continues to grow.
I mean, I was looking into a couple of stats before the game. In terms of where things have been a struggle for Ultra overall in Hardpoint, really has been their rotations. And where Thieves have been succeeding is their rotations. Case in point there, Hydra finds a couple, does break them up, and Ultra will find themselves a way back in. That's 20 seconds you give up that you really would have liked. 24 remaining here, though. Ultra have found a breakthrough. Currently 2v2 on the side, but LA Thieves have found a closer spawn. See if they can find a break again.
Still trying to get in there. Go on, son. Time for Ultra now on the way out. No way. Envoy picks those nearly 3 up. Rotation's done. Nice flip towards the very end there for the Thieves. You've got a little bit of a battle now to get out, but still ample time. Very, very healthy chunk of time gained on both 2 and 3 in our points. Setting up for new. Big wrap here from Hydra. That could cause damage soon, and there it is. That might be the dagger on this setup. Beans v Scrap. Wild little sprints here. And, hey, man, no one's running EQ. You can't hit these footsteps.
We'll have to maybe talk to Beans about that after last year, but here we are. Thieves trying to find a way through. A couple of kills over towards the Plaid side. They do manage to get inside, just holding tight, but Beans holding tight with him. They've done a really good job here, considering the kills and where they went previously. Can they hold it down? It's the worst gunfight we've seen in a while, but Hydra will just eventually take that one away. Big kill for Thieves to find. They can maybe put the pressure on now.
What is with this map and long gunfights, folks? That was a full clip and a pistol. The last one there from Hydra gets it. Still holding on though, Ultra. You got the lead now, boys. This is fantastic. Rotation's on. Insight's about to run into a whole load of Thieves. Not quite 100 of them, but at least 1 for now. Scrap Hydra get theirs respectfully, and that's going to be a very safe looking rotation. New hard point's going to be yours. Joe, check your corner. Good man. Finds an Envoy.
Can they manage to get something with this? Because honestly, it hasn't necessarily been holds that have been the end of the world for the side of Toronto Ultra. It really has been those rotations. But again, they're second best when it does come down to these opening engagements, and that's going to make them suffer once more. They do find themselves in the lead here, but it feels like it's been scrap time for the most part. They give a good amount of time over towards the stage hill, but other than that, it really has been Thieves doing a good job. But Beans finds another 2. He's finding important kills here, Miles, and he's going to find a break for Toronto Ultra. 30 seconds to play for. Could be their first decent lead of the entire map.
Yeah, really nice break as well. I mean, you play it a little slow. You let the Thieves make the mistakes. They fly forward into the gunfights. And this time round, though, Thieves, they don't play it slow whatsoever. They go right through the front. Hydra, the last man left alive right now, and he's on the hunt here. Inside catches a couple out, and lovely work. Ultra, good comms. Dealing with business so far, and going into the second set, it's a narrow lead for the Toronto team.
Yeah, they'll be happy with that, though, right? I think, you know, you're coming into it. You didn't necessarily win some of the rotations, which we thought was going to be their biggest issue. Well, like, you do get beaten to the punch a couple of times. You find yourself in a decent spot, and this is up against one of the best teams in the game as far as respawn goes. And right now, it's an even game.
Even game as well. Well, we're going to be looking at P1 soaking away here. The Thieves, they've got a nice start. Ultra, let's go for listening with you guys.
One ticket. Ghosty, really weak on the low car.
In our... One bullet. Red doors. In the middle time, dead. He's up nice. 4. More. Arthur time. Now we...
I'm joining the elevator. Want the ticket.
They're taking in red door.
Come on, close ready.
They're taking.
That's the time, dead. Ticket, dead.
Absolute red
head, dead. Shit.
I'll come with that left.
Good time. There's one base,
I'm blocking.
Punch up.
I blocked, don't worry.
Rotor still. Weak.
You're red window.
And low. Low goal on the pot. Check as well, boys.
Oh, no, pinch.
Low goal.
There's
Still pot.
Low goal. Pinch that.
Nice.
I'll get time, Joe. You have time? Maybe Archer.
Hey, top. Just check out. Red alley. I'll get time.
Nice. I'll get
Trivia time.
I'm looking for one, bro. Mid already goes the...
Let's see if it arches.
Look at top. Good full pitch, mate.
Red and right.
One more full pitch, Zach. Give me the doors. Yeah, give me forward. 2 on 5 doors. Five doors. I'm getting time.
Red alley, hit time. Dead.
One more Archer.
Yeah, nice.
Last guy stage, probably.
Still. He's got block, right? Nice, Joe.
Top stage, one shot, Joe. One front time. Hot dog and stage. Just high.
And go. Absolute go.
Oh, that. Absolute, bro. He ran away stage. Yeah,
That's it, Rose.
nice. Shit, back on.
Revenue still.
Yeah, there's time.
Red alley, you guys, okay?
Dead. Nice. Red windows, back time. And red alley. Red alley, scrap. Play your life. Oh, go, see. So we're gonna spawn out.
Great comms, all bases covered. Ultra, now with a decent lead. Thieves, you got the row, boys. Let's have a listen with you.
Kobe, one bullet. Oh, fine, he ran away. Ambulance, guys. And down. Inside on time. Ambulance. Look out, low spiral. No, he had outer. Jamie was payphone, too. It was ambulance, okay? 2 on time. 2 outer, dude. 2 on time, already spiral. I know. I'm coming outer with you. Outer. I can open. I'm here with the deal. One time, yep. One Kobe. Down outer. 2 of them. Spiral. Yeah, 2 there. 2 on time. Nice job. They're gonna be in spiral. Yeah, spiral. Spiral on time. Here, probably. Alright, let me there. Play our side. Nice. Top us. Our side beans. Sweet, and payphone. Our side beans, 1 bullet. Oh, he's in it. Last stop. I needed the hill. He sucked. Dead on hill. Nice. Flip. Missing one inside. Yeah, inside probably spawned. Inside is mid globe. They could have all sucked the spawn, by the way. Mid globe backed up. He's stunned. No. They spawned out. She spawned out. On the globe. And dude, watch out that I got dumb. Roll on me. Old Joe, half HP. Missing one. Yellow hedge. Yellow hedge. Good. That's one dead. Nice. I spawned goalie. 2 goalie. Yeah, I'm watching. Out old though. We have to play for him. Yeah, I have yellow edge, okay? Yo, yellow hedge. Beans. And you're missing one more. Goalie. Top time, guys. Beans just one. Beans 1 shot. Yeah, just one. I'll kill. Yellow edge. Nice. Top time as well. Top time is 1 shot. Absolute. Mid center side. Their side weak. Top time and then their side. In low. I don't see top time. One's camera though. Shot camera. I don't see top time still. He's still top time. Nice. One more look on. Nice. Crossing in yellow hedge. Last one. I'll kill yellow hedge. Right. Nice. 4, boys. Good job. Fucking hold on P2. One's in P2. He's behind that dog. They could be going here. I've been. You ever cross already? I'm holding red. You won't make me on time. Fine. I'll get it. Red hedge. I'm one shot. Their side. P2 Toby dead. Red hedge. Weak. One more camera. Red hedge. Crossing dead. Red hedge. Don't see him. He's still there. Oh, new guys. Mid edge. We're on P2 too. One more mid. Yo, ticket. Who's got ticket? Red hedge. 1 shot. We got to rotate, guys. I don't see red hedge. In red door. Take no time though. Need to in ticket. Alright. Take your time with these skills. Good contact. Mid ticket. Doing ticket.
And what a hard point we have got. Time the second set. Thieves, slight lead. Yeah, starting to come back into it, but if it wasn't of the heroics of Joe Thieves, sitting at 34 and 27, you're looking over towards these teams. I was looking at Thieves and who's really running the show. I was talking about those ARs. Number 2 and number 3 hardpoint KDs on this map belong to the 2 ARs on the side of LA Thieves. The number 1, though, as you're seeing in the scope in the top right corner, is currently Joe Thieves, and that is overall this season. 34 and 28 in this game. He's really, I don't want to say carrying, but he's doing a sensational job for the side of Ultra so far, especially over towards P2. We've seen what he was doing. Can he continue, though? This is the first time it's felt like Thieves have been in the lead for a long time, Miles. But here we go. Joe Thieves in again. Can we have 3? Yes, we can. Joe finds the break and keeping it running. He's 38 and 28, running it up for Ultra. We said, hey, Joe, where you going with that gun in your hand? I'm going on a slight flank to pick up 3 and break the hard point. Nice 10 seconds there, gain towards the end. A very slight lead. Back over to P1. Shenanigans. Go on, son. Keep it going, Joe Thieves. Wow, what a run from him. 40th kill. It's a lot of work being done, and they just cannot seem to pin him down. Ghosty finally gets the job done. Trades are on point. Scrap's got the middle of the map. And what do you know, folks? Another P1 bang out.
Here we go into the 3rd rotation. 6-point game. Everything as advertised. Joe and Beans doing well over towards P1, just trying to pick up what they can, but it's going to be about this P2 rotation coming in 35 seconds. But Ultra just bringing this one to the brink. If you're Thieves, though, they find a nice break there. That's going to be 30 seconds you can play for. Ultra could do with finding a little bit more positioning in the middle of the map here. Right now, this is free time for Thieves.
Well, Joe's once again slipping in it. Scary moment, though. Again, folks, with the time in the hard point's good enough. It's 1 minute and 8 seconds on the game clock. We are seeing more and more of these red card hard points come down to time. See what happens here at P2. The last one was great for Ultra. Thieves with a good time on P3. We'll see how this one goes. Joe's still battling through mid. Are these kills important ones? We'll let Envoy decide a little bit later on. 3 dead there, though, for the Thieves. Time now for the Ultra boys.
Joe sitting at 44 and 31. It's absurd. We'll need to keep it up, though. We've seen him previously on this hill, Miles. He really was performing. Oh, here we go again. Envoy will be done with this. No way that he snaps on the Ghosty. My goodness, Joe deceives. And that's 45 seconds up for offer. Toronto Ultra locking this one down. Thieves not where they want to be.
Barely the never, man. Look at that game time as well. Look at the clock. We're running it up. Kleenex staying alive. Here we go. Hardpoint still good. Joe putting in the work with both weapons. Damage dealt, though, and it's going to be the trade battle ending. And oh, no, it's even Stevens. Last man left alive with a point scrap. Trying to find some time. Reinforcements and the pinch here from Ultra. Trying not to let this get too wild and too crazy. A very close game still. They're looking towards P3. Ton and Ultra are there as well.
Yeah, they're going to be there. We said at the top of the hard point, rotations is where this is going to be won. Those couple of gunfights, though, they're not the ones that you want to go the opposite way here. Toronto Ultra, Bano and Hydra and Ghosty combining well. Beans will be dealt with. And all of a sudden, Kleenex is left all on his own over towards P3. Finds massive kill, though, and all of a sudden, Toronto do have numbers.
And it's not a problem whatsoever. Here comes Joe. Ian Kleenex now through the stairwell. Kill number 1.
Yeah, listen.
Not missing at all. His teammates have picked up the other. So what a late break. A fantastic moment here. Got to cover all bases, though. Quickly spread out. Don't let anything too wild and crazy happen. Kleenex on the slide. Keeping the time going. Joe's upstairs covered. A big win through the front from Hydra. Can they get the trade? No, you're inside it. And once again, it's Colchester's finest. It's Beans on the time.
30 seconds to go. Toronto Ultra can still win it here. Thieves cannot. They need to think about the rotation as well, but they need to find a break. Ghosty and Envoy gonna make that happen. There's 3 in a row. Insight's the only one who can answer, and what a time to find a break for Thieves. If they hold down this time, we're dead even heading over towards people.
Amazing hard point to go to the end on as well. Wide open. A foot race is on. Thieves are making their way out of old towards the new, towards the final point. Envoy from up top now. A big set of kills from Hydra. Straight over the time. Beans from atop the stage. The spotlight on him. Finding a few more. Kleenex from down low wins another. But here comes Hydra. Wins the fight. That's the break.
There's the break with only 15 seconds to play for here for the side as Thieves. You are not far away, but one break from Ultra will win them the game. Right now, Envoy and Scrap, they're cooking together. They're only 5 seconds away, Miles. They gotta go.
Gotta get going, and the coverage is there. It's all good. Last few moments now to slide in. And what an opening hard point. The LA Thieves breathe a big old sigh of relief after that map 1 came down to the wire.
Oh, that's gotta sting for Ultra, though. You're going up against the #1 hardpoint team in the game, though, and you have thrown them all the way to a 5-point game. An absolute cracker to kick things off, but I mean, it was all about that P3, right? We've seen the rotation come in, Ultra holding it down, but it's Envoy and Hydra who find 3 kills between them. They find the break, they stop Ultra winning it, and go a step further towards the stage and close it out over towards P4. And look, we were heading into this series, Miles, sort of thinking to ourselves, this is probably going to be an LA Thieves win. They're 5-0 currently, now 6-0 on red card hardpoint. But at the same time, we probably didn't expect it to go as close as that did. What a game between these two. Joe Deceives won off the 50.
We have the last few moments of the hard point. I say last moment, 65 seconds, folks. This is the way it all went down. And we saw Ghosty popping off in the in-game chat there towards the end, screaming at his screen, what's going on, what's going on. I would wager the entire beard, actually all the hair on my head, that he was talking about the amount of kills that Joe got and how, oh, what are you doing, Joe? Well done for getting all those kills. You still lost the game. I would honestly wager every hair on my entire head that's what he was talking about. It's just the flavor of the month right now. His kills do not necessarily pay the bills, especially at this level.
I mean, it shows, doesn't it? That comes kind of down to what we were saying about Thieves and how efficient they can be. How about it's about these rotations when they get there, they're so good at holding it as well. It's efficiency when it comes down to it. And they were super efficient, especially towards the end. I want to say they were a little shaky throughout the first couple of rotations. They were keeping pace, though, and it came down to these last 2 hills and just finding that break and making the most of it, and then finding these kills over towards P4. This is a big gunfight where Hydra wins that, then all of a sudden it's a mountain to climb for Toronto Ultra. Yeah, okay, you may well be only 8 seconds away, but getting Hydra out of there, Envoy with the cutoffs, I mean, this just keeps the pressure on. You know exactly what they're doing from this stage onwards, and Ghosty and Code know exactly where everybody's come from. It's a good job from Thieves. Really did clutch up over towards the backside of that game, but you're very right, kills do not necessarily mean wins. Big numbers from Joe Deceives, but unable to convert it into the big one that you need, and that's the map win.
That is the map win. Well, Daniel, what were you saying? I'm pretty sure he's hitting the in-game chat key as well. There we go. A very exciting red card. Back and forth indeed. Very, very tight between both our teams. And again, in the end, it just comes down to 1 or 2 moments. You don't win the rotation necessarily. And that hard point, the stage hard point, I mean, it's a wide open point. It's so, the lines to get into that point are wide open. You've got a couple of sweet spots to cover, but that is about it. And even then, the hard point itself is so bangable. You know, very, very difficult place to be in Thieves. Perfect setup, perfect timing. 250, 242, folks. We told you it was going to be good. But do not take your shoe, well, don't put your shoes back on yet, folks. We're still staying on red card here for S&D. Protocol, we have to get to that. But, Tony, S&D, not been absolutely sensational for the Thieves. Ultra a little bit better. But this could be a tie-up moment in the series.
I mean, as I said at the top, when we're talking about the maps and modes between these two teams, okay, Toronto are kind of middle of the road when it comes down to their respawns, but when it comes down to S&D, they're number 1. For the side of Thieves, they're towards the lower side, just the number 10 ranked team overall in Search and Destroy. So this one, you would think, is maybe a little more clear-cut than we thought the red card hardpoint was going to be. So now we head into an S&D. Are we expecting it to maybe be a little bit more one-sided for the side of Toronto Ultra? You would think so, but based on what we see in map number 1, who bloody knows at this stage, man? We can only talk about stats so much, but for them, look, Ultra yesterday in their game did what they needed to do, win the S&Ds, win the control to win the series. That is now looking likely to be their route to win this series in particular up against Thieves. So let's see if they can kick it off here with red card. As you said, we're staying there, but looking over towards the stats, yeah, the opening duels was something I was going to talk about. They've read my mind. It is a massive difference between these two teams. The conversion for Toronto Ultra is brilliant. For Thieves, it's not so great, and actually finding it is being difficult for Thieves and not so difficult for Toronto. So it's fully on these opening breaks. Thieves need to switch something up when it comes down to red card, search and destroy. In terms of those opening breaks, that's really where they have been suffering.
We'll see if that does play out. Typically, the stats have not necessarily lied, but they do give a wonderful indication of where to look in these games. Fist bumps complete. Looks like we're getting ready to dive back in a red card, ladies and gents. We're going to be playing Search and Destroy this time round. Again, a top-tier throwdown. And that's a bad look for the Thieves. I mean, the idea that of all the teams you played, you beat Carolina, who was such a strong Search and Destroy squad, is amazing. But losing to Vegas and a double dip there to Atlanta Face, sorry. I mean, that's a good one for the Thieves. Look, you're not looking that bad, but the fact that you beat Ravens is still amazing to me. But hey, whatever, dude. We'll see how this one goes. Ultra, though, a strong squad when it comes to the mode. Let's see if they can keep it going. On board with Mr. Killman himself, it's Jojo, who's got himself the bomb too.
Let's see if we can find something. On the other side of things, as far as the kills department go, Hydra's really been struggling on this map in particular. So let's see if they've found something out for the Frenchman. Like, oh my goodness me, I mean, Beans is going to find just the tail end of Scrap and take it off. My goodness. The beamer across the map, Scrap's dealt with. There's the opening bloods we said are an issue for Thieves.
Oh, look at that. Breach and clear. Totally take control of the B-bomb site. Hydra in the back, though. Gone. Beans eliminates. So now a 4v1. Ghosty, the only man up here to try to make anything happen. Doesn't have any fragmentation devices to work with. Yeah, he's going to be going in with nothing but his aims. He did his very good. Well, he did his best, I suppose. It wasn't great. He did his best. But Ultra, good stuff, man. I mean, opening that B-bomb site wide open, the old bait and switch, damage in early, everything looking good.
Beans with that opening takedown. Those kind of gunfights I take in ranked play, and I'd be complaining severely to my screen. I'd be calling them terrible things. But at the same time, it's fantastic shots. And again, that kind of thing is creeping up immediately in round number 1. That first blood goes Ultra's way. They make sure they convert it, though. Being so good at doing that. 5-2 on S&D red card across the season, and that's a good start for them. Thieves now on the attacking side. Let's see if they can get something going. Scrap got blooded last time. Let's see if we can turn this one around in round number 2.
Oh, rat-a-tat-tat across the long lines of sight by the A-bomb site. Ultra be hopefully quick to forget the way the last hard point ended as they try to lock down this side of the map. Thieves, you're going in. You got Scrap lining weight towards the back line, not making sure that anyone gets through mid. But for now, Ultra are not taking too much of a bait. And Kleenex holding his breath, hoping the Hydra doesn't notice him. Here he comes.
This is just something that Toby's so good at. Kleenex finds it on a ghosty. And all of a sudden, Hydra's going to have to be on a swivel, and Insight's going to move forward, or is going to try to. Then Voice there to cut it open, and oh my goodness me, sensational teamwork from LA Thieves. Because you think Kleenex in that position is just going to disrupt the entire round, but all of a sudden, Joe Deceives is left on 1 versus 3, and that hasn't happened.
That's not bad. Oh, good effort on the first. Can't get away with his life, though, Thieves. Yeah, immaculate, you know, working together at the right time. Scrap wins a big 1v1 and Beans in the middle of the map, and the rest of the lads clean up the A-bomb site. No need to get the plant this time round. But a nice slow round, man. I mean, difficult situation for Kleenex as well. He does get the freebie on the player beneath stage, but peeking out towards the bomb site, you're just so obvious there. It's not a lot you can do.
Well, I think it kind of happens, unfortunately, for him, though. He thinks Insight's going to be there for the potential trade. You could already see that he was on his way over from the goal, but he gets there and immediately gets picked by Envoy, and then it's just a free pickup on Kleenex and on Insight. From there, you kind of fall apart. Big gunfight one in the middle of the map. I believe it was from Scrap as well. So making sure that win their gunnies there for the side of Thieves at the right time. Ends the round in their favor. But another first blood over towards the side of Toronto Ultra. Let's keep an eye on that one. Is this about to be another ghosty? No, will get away with his life. Just about being butted up from pretty much everywhere here. Somehow surviving.
He's still good though, and it's tasty. He gets buttered up, but it's still delicious work. And that is back and forth. Nice work again. The LA Thieves, they do go down a man there at the end of the trade. So here you go. Insight catches Scrap on the hop. Lovely stuff. Will not be traded out, and now it comes down to Envoy. 1v3. Not impossible in a map like Red Card. You can isolate those fights, but not when Ultra say, hold hands, chaps. Everyone together.
Not in a terrible position, but I'm going down now. Choosing the wrong direction. If he gets there quickly and finds Beans, then maybe it could be on the cards, but wide open. Jackal's solid, don't get me wrong, but this is a tough situation.
Gonna bang the glass? Yeah, here we go. It's on, and it's Insight in the back line. As steady as ever. Ultra take the lead.
Good job from Insight. I think finding 3 in that round. Just picking up the pieces here. But yeah, as soon as Ultra kind of have Ghosty isolated there, the fact that Ghosty gets out with a kill was, well, first of all, absurd, but a little bit concerning for Ultra, but they collapse down. Teammates in from Thieves on the way to help. They get gunned as well. Ultra making sure they do their job in the middle of the map. You win your gunfights, use those numbers. Your advantage, and then all of a sudden the bomb is down. It's an impossible situation for Envoy. Kinda has been back and forth. These opening duels seem, I want to say, a little bit tentative. Nobody's really necessarily been over aggressive with them. I wonder if a change up in tactic for Thieves might work out, but they're only a round down. No need to make any rash decisions just yet.
Decision made there not to put a trophy down as well.
Good God.
Takes the round into his own hands. Love that for the Thieves. Gives you a massive advantage now. Howdy. Hydra's on for 1 here, folks. Last man in sight. Give him the ace. Feed him. No, he runs out of bullets to the aims. For the Thieves, a wicked round.
Much more aggressive from the side of Thieves, and it works out for them. Hydra just pushes up, and I just don't think you're expecting him to be so in the open, so aggressive in that scenario. Wins the first. The second over towards the stage as well. And that just breaks the round open for the side of Thieves. No one's back from Toronto in that one. It just kind of shows you get the blood, you convert it, you win rounds. Like, that's how it works.
That's how it works.
Hydra finding, yeah, that's exactly how it works. That felt very Michael Owen of me. Not very good reference, but here we go. 2 kills from Hydra, though, just sets it up so lovely. 2-2 now.
That's one for the Brits. Hydra's 3 in a row, though. Hello, lads. Whoa, Hydra gets a little bit more than he wanted there. But we're lining up in tickets, and there's a lot of players on the inside here. B-bomb site now ready to go. Ultra with a snap decision and a wicked fast setup. They're in now. There's the plant. Post-plant shenanigans. Here we go. Hydra, though, gets involved. The Insight's pick on a Scrap helps. 1 man on the door, 1 man on the nade. 35 to go.
Didn't find the pick with this. That's a big nade. It's going to disrupt them at least. Hydra through the door. The second one. Can he find it? Yes, he can. 1v2.
Sending it. On the run. Insight's gone. Left, right. Which way's he gone? Hydra. It's juked it. Wow! What a play! The Phenom cracks a smile and defuses the bomb. We were worried about when he truly opens and when he levels up. And Hydra at 7-2. It's makings of magic from the Frenchman.
Oh, Insight does everything right until the final moment. There's one person you don't want to give an inch because he will take a mile, and that is Hydra. It's just the shots come ringing through. Yeah. It's about to turn the corner, and their reactions are absolutely absurd from the Frenchman. 5 in a row. It's another round for Thieves. And they take it. My word, the lead as well. How on earth have they found themselves here? And the answer to that is Hydra. My goodness.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, it's tough, man, when you make every right decision and yet still punished. That's a great nade. Beans should be gone. Oh, nice work. Staying alive. I'm always getting frustrated, but I swear to God, he's one shot. I mean, anything, boys. Anything. Bomb down on the other side of the map. That has been dropped. Quick recovery. Over towards A. Good stuff, Ghosty. 3v3. Insight's in a position here to get involved quick, but not anymore. Here we go. 3v3 on the retake.
Very fluid from Thieves to get themselves over here. Ultra. Yeah, pretty quickly as well, though. Opening break's going to be so important for either one of these two teams. Is it going to go Joe's way? Yes, it is. Envoy gets his pants pulled down. 2v2.
2v2, a big red hand across the backs of one of these players. Ghosty dips out, slides away, can't get away with his life. Lovely work out of Scrap. And here we go, the 1v1. Scrappy, pistol in hand. And another massive round for the Thieves.
And again, the clutches are coming through. Thieves making it work. But it's all about the rotation that they quickly get in. Over towards the bomb site. They get it down, and all of a sudden Ultra, not necessarily scrambling, but they have to make a move over rather quickly. And to be honest, the break from Joe is phenomenal. He actually managed to find a second in that round, but Scrappy with the 1 versus 2. And again, these clutches going the way of Thieves and the rounds alongside them. 4-2 now. Looking good. And if they can take the search and destroy, this is a massive dent in the confidence of Toronto.
The hard work is paying off, man. They've been in the lab. There's no doubt about it. Here we go, Thieves. 2 for the win. Ultra, you've had some great moments, and it just comes down to a gunfight. I'll see it play. Not a clue where it is, because we can't see it in Codcaster, sadly. Inside now, absolutely dealt with. Nice work on the trade. Joe unable to save his teammate.
Forced away. Really good job. You presume that RC is coming in from Hydra. Found a little bit of pressure. They find insight irrelevant of how it did go down. Now Ultra left in a 3 versus 4. Just trying to get a little bit of room towards this A side. Movement's starting to come on through, but it's hard, isn't it? Like, Thieves are really dug in deep here. Gonna probably try and find a gunfight to even get over towards the site. No, it's a freebie for Joe. He will get that. Thieves know exactly what's going on still in this 4 versus 3.
He's the front man, though. He's got to try to find a kill on his own. There's no cover. No one here to help him. Kleenex gets there a little late, and he's going to be able to get 1. Another kill certainly helps. You're sending in Beans to try to disrupt the defenders, but I'm not sure if it's going to matter. A win here, if you can get it, Kleenex. Anyone there on the push? Big flank now from the Thieves. Trying to catch at least 1 kill out, and it's not going to happen.
Oh, wow.
They pin him in on the site, and a decisive round after some indecisive play from Toronto gives LA Thieves map point.
Scrap's bobbing and weaving in the cam right now. I wonder if he's watching the box on last night. Dipping and diving.
They're such passionate in between round moments, whether it's the comms or whether it's just gassing each other, whatever it may be. Thieves, this is that confidence, man. This is the feel, the flow of the team. They're feeling great. Vibes, etc. An all-time high. Morale sky high now as they keep rolling. 1 more round, boys.
It's been sensational work from Thieves. The last 3 rounds have been brilliant. It's working so well together. You can see the patience is needed when it's necessary. You can see the aggression is unwavering from Hydra, and it's just causing so many problems towards the side of Toronto Ultra. Well, back on down this time, though. Ultra taking onus and, well, complete control of the A site. And in turn, LA Thieves have walked through the very open door over towards the B site now and have this under lock and key. They don't have the bomb here, though, but Ultra are probably going to try and go for a retake. Are Thieves actually going to commit towards this? They could choose to maybe turn around again. Not full commit comes through. They have control. And they'll be going for this bomb plant.
Yeah, you should get the plant down. You've also managed to exhaust quite a lot of the tacticals there of the Ultra boys.
Yeah.
Here's the plant. Hydra wins the battle on the flank, so that opens up everything towards the front line. The 3 remaining members of Ultra now trying to breach through the 2 sets of double doors, and it's not going to happen. Envoy with a perfect attack forward. The last man left alive in sight, and that is that. The LA Thieves take it to Toronto in search and destroy.
Ridiculous performance from the side of LA Thieves, and from Hydra especially. One of the worst KDs in the map, in the whole league, when it comes down to this map specifically. And sticks a couple of clutches and 10+ kills on your forehead. It's a massive win for LA Thieves. They take this one away, and Toronto, yeah, okay, it's great to push them all the way in a hard point, but your bread and butter is your search and destroy. You get dealt with like that. 11-4 out with the Frenchman. big map win for LA Thieves.
Yeah, the 1v3 scenario he finds himself at the B-bomb, that really was the decider. Inside makes all the right calls, and in the end just gets tapped with that Strider. That same thing again with Scrap versus Joe. Those fights were fantastic. I mean, it's funny, I'm thinking about this again. Joe was on Thieves last year as well. It's just such a funny back and forth between these sort of squads. Either way, man, a lovely series so far. Search and Destroy nowhere near as close as the opening hardpoint was, but that's it, folks. Red card is now done. Control will be the next map we play on Protocol. Of course, that's going to be a lot of fun as well. Tony, that's it from you and I. We're going to put our feet up and enjoy the next segment from the desks. Are we drawing conclusions? Are we doing that fun little box game? What are we doing, guys?
It's the highlight of the show for everybody, and I'm really excited to talk about this Search and Destroy. 5 first bloods for LA Thieves. Of the 8, they take the Search, and we were wondering who had the edge in hardpoint. Said it was going to be LA Thieves. Thought Search's edge could go to Toronto. Not so much.
Not so much. When it comes to this SMD, for me, I just think I love the way LA Thieves have been approaching it recently. I mean, you literally saw it. I want to say it was like round 9, 8-ish. I'm not good numbers. It doesn't matter. It was when Toronto was making over towards the B side, and Hydra's just sitting in office, and Toronto didn't even attempt to try and find any information there. They didn't throw any tacticals, didn't put any bodies there. What happens to Insight? He gets in a 1v1, tries to buy a new angle. That allows Hydra to fly out, get the freebie, first blood, and then go on with their round with man up. So LA Thieves just approaching the game in a much better way right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams are going to start vetoing red card against Thieves, potentially both game modes. It just caters so well to the playstyle and the composition of this roster. Envoy and Hydra just finding so much success playing together. And also, when it got down to the 1v1s, just Hydra disrespectfully challenged Insight. We saw Scrap in the 1v2, huge kills right here. You see it on your screen. So obviously, these rounds go the way of Ultra. It's maybe a different result, but regardless of the fact, this map plays so well for this roster.
Is the Strider really that good?
It is.
And also, for like, to a point of like they're just allowing the plant way too much on the side of Toronto Ultra, and that's been their biggest thing. They went from a top 2 defensive Search and Destroy team to now bottom 10 in the league. They are the worst retake team that we've had during this split, and I feel like it got really exploited by LA Thieves during this matchup.
LA Thieves really having to use the restroom during that matchup. They got their break, and while they're taking that break, Nameless, let's go ahead and take a look at some conclusions that were drawn throughout this hard point. Why was it an 8-point difference?
Yeah, we're going to talk about the end of this HP, and golly, man, this is a heartbreaker if you're an Ultra fan, more specifically a Joe Thieves fan, because he was having an incredible game, and I just think it just got too heated up at the end. So let's jump into this last hill. We're going to play it a little bit and talk about like what happens here. Thieves had just bullied in through the front, and you see right now Ultra's like, okay, they can't win on this hill, so what are we going to do? We're going to try to like have a couple people sitting over towards stage and hold it, and Joe Thieves is pushing up trying to find a kill on rotation. But I want you guys to know the sponsors. You can spawn here, here, and here on this hill, right? So these are the typical spawns that you're going to get, and this is going to be important for what happens next. So you see Joe Thieves pushes up. He's going to die here. Probably shouldn't be in this position to begin with because they can't win on this hill, right? So now Thieves are like, all right, we're going to push over towards New. We're going to try to bully our way through front. Joe Thieves spawns in the back, and the reason he spawns back there, right, is because people are actively fighting over stage, right? So nobody's going to get the stage spawns at this point in time. This is high-level stuff, but to be a team like Thieves or FaZe, you have to know this. Joe Thieves has to understand that there's a potential parallel spawn there. You see Scrap spawns next to him, and Scrap peeks over and sees it, right? And if Joe Thieves is aware of this, he knows the old time is still going and there's a parallel, he can maybe get that kill and give his team a chance to push this at the end and re-break and win this game, right? But he's unaware. Scrap shoots him in the back, finds the second on Insight, and what would have been a 2v1 in the hill for Ultra ends up being full control for Thieves. So just in the final moments of this, the spawns can get a little bit wonky, but they make sense. If Joe Thieves picks up on it, they might win.
That's a great detail, Ant. But also at 186 to 186, Joe Thieves had 42 kills.
Absolutely.
He finishes with 49. The rest of the team's got to help him finish that job. All right, let's take a look at what we got coming next. It really is. We've got Protocol Control. Is this a 3-0?
It might be. That's talking 5-0 on the side of LA Thieves.
Tony,
Toronto.
It's time to hear your voice some more. I'm ready for it.
Oh. Thank you. You excited? I'm glad you're excited for it, Chris. I'm excited to see how this one goes, actually, because I'm kind of leaning towards what Ali said there. The records really do speak for themselves here, but it's not a terrible map for the side of Toronto. You're just going up against LA Thieves. That's the problem here, Miles.
That is the problem. I always think it's weird how much the Chris's like each other. I think it's weird.
Not.
There's a lot of Chris action here. No, this should be a good one. I do worry though, timing stats aside, I think maybe you had the sort of the back or the soul broken of you there by the Thieves. Ultra took a couple of mean rounds and there's been a little bit of in-game chat. How much of this is now just purely mental? I mean, the Thieves trash talking, absolutely walking it in the game as well. At what point do you have to dig as deep as you possibly can right now for Ultra to pull it out on a map that Thieves already look good on? I mean, it's stacked way against you right now. So a fantastic test for Ultra.
Yeah, it's a massive test. I think, you know, we did talk about some maps 4 and 5 kind of briefly though, and I don't want to say they lie in the favor of Toronto Ultra, but they definitely look better than the first 2 maps did as far as, well, stats go at least anyway. But have we kind of thrown that out the window after that map to win for the side of Thieves? Potentially. It's a hard one to call, but if they do win this control, there very much is still some hope. But doing that up against the side of Thieves is going to be a difficult one to do. Looking over towards map 3, which is going to be Protocol. As mentioned, LA Thieves sitting at 5-0 specifically on this map. Overall in control, as you can see on your screens, the #1 team in the game, winning their last 3. But for me, this one, we did briefly just see it. It's going to come down to these defensive rounds. For Toronto, they only really have one stat that they are the #1 in control, and that is defensive round win percentage. LA Thieves aren't far behind them because their strength in particular is attacking round. So it's going to come down to it. This is probably going to go all 5 potentially. Let's see if Toronto Ultra can force it their way and, well, force that round number 5 to be a defensive side.
I mean, the attacking rounds have been the key as of recent in the COD League. But again, these trends do shift and flow around. Here we go. The early attack now for the boys of Ultra. Joe's going to be in there, soaking away. Back to good old faithful. This is the position we're going to be in right now if you're on offense. And that's not the kind of gunfight you want to take. That's a big one out of Envoy. Scrap's going to do what he can to push this one back, but Kleenex on 5 HP buys time for Beans to get into the play. Hydra on the other side of the board, though. Now he's the thorn in the back of Ultra, and literally in the back, Joe is shot.
I mean, just you do not want that of any player of any team is probably Hydra, right? It's just such an awkward position to try and get out of from now for the side of Ultra, but you got to dot your I's, cross your T's, get them dealt with, and then make you move from there.
Uh-oh.
Can't do much though when you're getting good like this. Live zoning slightly in the favor of Thieves, but it feels like the map positioning just lies in their favor right now. Tough one for Ultra.
You got Envoy well pushed up. Happy place to be right now. Ghosty at least picked out a gun, so you got a tiny window. Isolate the next few fights, take care of these players. Envoy! Pants have been shat! Oh! Hydra's involved as well. 45 to go, and the LA Thieves, for a moment there was an iron grip around the throat of Ultra. And not a kink shame in sight. They've now pushed out. They've found their form.
Takes one decent break back though, right? Find a couple of kills. You get a little bit more control. Starting to assert your well. I mean, somebody who is really asserting himself is Envoy right now. He managed to find one. Can't find anything else. He gets picked apart. Now all of a sudden, Thieves don't have anyone in advanced position. Hydra's being hunted, and well, are you ever really hunting him? Kleenex will be taken down. Ghosty will find another. Progress though, ticking over very nicely for Ultra. Beans finding 2 in the middle could be big, but Scrap is there again. Thieves just seem to be disrupting Ultra at every single turn. They will get a hold of A, but not without a lot of damage being done. Scrap just trying to survive here. He's still going. Eventually gets cleaned up. A 13v11 in the favor of Toronto Ultra, making a move over towards B now, but Thieves not in a bad spot.
Uh-oh. Not in a bad spot. They've just been picked out. Here we go, Kleenex and Beans. We were thinking that the LA Thieves were the Dom, but right now they are the sub. And I'm not talking machine gun, boys and girls. Will there be a safe word? 8 to 12. Ultra can't get away with their lives. Envoy, good tags. He's having a fantastic map in pure gunny sense. His teammate Hydra, though, on the other side, finding a couple of kills. Pressure now back over to Ultra as the Thieves are stabilized for a sec.
Big kill from Joe because, to be honest, I really like the play out of Envoy. Finds a couple of shots in over towards the site, then backs on up. Well, he's going to be a thorn in the side, but Joe Thieves will find the fight. These next couple are very important, though. Scrap, though. And then one onto Joe, looking for another on the inside. Can't find it against his former teammate. Envoy is there to pick it up at 7v4 now in lives. LA Thieves have to be perfect.
Benjamin Beans, 3 down. The last man up is going to be pushing it from spawn. There's the read. And this should be the round. And again, the attacking rounds seem to be the way it goes. But Envoy, doesn't give them the segments. You get the round win. You do not get it all. Well, great fun start to this map.
Yep, really good job from Ultra. And to be honest, it was a weird one because you just seen the lives ticking down for Thieves, but they always felt like they were the ones in advanced positions. They were the ones that finding those important kills, if you like. But Toronto just chipping away. really good job on the attacking side. As you mentioned, attacking rounds obviously have been the favored side of things when it does come down to protocol, but for Toronto, their defensive round wins have been paramount to any sort of success that they have had on control. A little bit more difficult to do on this map, but if they can lock in what they are good at here, they're in a really good spot to close out the map and extend this series.
I feel like you get one and you've basically won the map, but we'll see. Thieves are a team full of surprises. Our superstars have yet to truly disappoint us. Over the way we go. Great start there from both squads. A nice set of trades. Even Stevens still Beans tips it in favor. Scrap right back at it. So no true advantage just yet. And a sneaky insight brings his aims to the bottom side of Trips. Doesn't get anything out of it though. Envoy with a perfect reads right off spawn. An ambitious play from Jacob Graven.
Yeah, that's not the kind of player that you necessarily want up there. But at the same time, he'll probably give me some stick for saying that. But I think Joe or Kleenex in that position yet. Talking about a dangerous proposition for the side of Thieves. But irrelevant of that, still have some pressure here with Joe now pushed up before men dead momentarily. LA Thieves can now start moving. They have the advantage in terms of lives, map control, and well, control over the A site. Starting to get those ticks in now. First one's on its way, and Hydra in a really, really dangerous position. He's about to come around from the back of two of them. And there you go, 4 dead again. LA Thieves making light work of Ultra here.
Yeah, they're not even necessarily in the spawn kill setup. But over to B we go, and this is the last bastion of defense for Toronto Ultra here on the map. Beans keeping Ghosty tagged up. Nice work again on the trade front. No clear-cut advantage just yet. Massive win out of Scrap down low. That is brilliant. 4th kill in a row. And now you're in a little bit of hot water. And Hydra, he is the man at the stove. Joe putting that one to bed. Asks for takeout instead.
I mean, Scrap just reading that second push that comes through. Makes such a big difference to the players who are hopefully looking to get a flank underway here for the side of Ultra. But now all of a sudden you're 7 lives down. The pressure is in. And now B control entirely over towards the side of the LA Thieves. Got to find a break back if you're Ultra very, very quickly.
Oh yeah, come on, it's a quick stack here. That's one segment on the way out. You don't want to lose the segments fight, or do you? You never know. We'll find out how this one goes in the end, but 15 of 7, continuing the capture here. Hydra dancing all over the shop. Can he take these next 2 members out? Oh, no need. He's going to slip out. Only for a moment. Defense holds, and the second segment doesn't get captured.
It's a well-timed stun that deals with him. But Ultra, I've got to try and slow this one down, and Thieves are saying, nope. Absolutely not.
Wait.
Consistent pace from Hydra. That second gunfight's ridiculous. 11v4 here in this attacking round. It's pretty much curtains for Ultra in a very, very fast one by the looks of things.
Yeah, and it's going to be that, folks. Gonna get the capture. Hey! Last man down. Thieves. They get their attacking round as well. Now, who's going to throw to force the other team to get defense for round 5? That's my question. You want to slay them out. I mean, you have to win on kills. You don't want to. It's a weird one, man. It's such an odd situation to be in when these are attack heavy maps in control.
Yeah, it's tough. We'll keep an eye on the ticks and how it is going to lie, but we may have a little bit more of an awkward exchange over the next 2 rounds. I'm curious though if Thieves can kind of keep it up in what we've seen in their first defense round. They're pushing up, finding kills, keeping them back, but I mean, that's 4 dead momentarily. Might give you a little bit of hope for the defensive round, though. Can you keep them back yet?
Yeah, but this is it. This is what you wanted to the Thieves. Now, this is the first time we've really seen the team pushed up, and if a great immediate answer back from Ultra. It's saying, no, thank you, Scrap. No, thank you, Hydra. Our spawn is not open for business today. Envoy still trying to make a sneaky play down low where the A capture continues.
We'll find the kill on the Scrap as well. We'll be able to advance forward himself. Can't find the second kill. Envoy still surviving, but only momentarily. So finding a little bit more presence for his team inside of Trips here now as Thieves again just trying to find that right behind, trying to slow them down as best they can. Kleenex as well doing the exact same thing. Gets a bit of bad timing on Ghosty, but all of a sudden that name capture is looking more and more likely. The kill's starting to come in from Thieves though.
That was a clean 3 down, an insight on the tactical retreat. Tries to escape, can't get it done, and again, back and forth in the kills. 18 now, life count either side. Thanks for ruining that one for Ghosty. 1 minute to play though, Ton, and again, it is an aggressive round out of the Thieves. They've pushed the defense as far as it can go.
They managed to find anything here. Ultra, this is do or die really in this series. You lose this one, you could be in a lot of trouble based on what we see in the previous attacking round for the side of LA Thieves. Scrap onto Beans, 18 seconds here, Miles. They gotta go.
They're in. Kills on a Hydra though, and the last man left alive. And the point is going to be Insight, and there's reinforcements in the form of Beans. Beans are going to matter because everyone's here. No, ladies and gentlemen, it's done. And that's going to be around over towards the new hard point. They can never get out. Spawn. Envoy finds himself at 2. The Bezo's got Hydra in it, and that is going to be that, folks. LA Thieves take the lead and control.
Oh, there's just a massive, massive round for them to find as well.
There you go.
Yeah, can't find the break over towards it. Huge round for Thieves. And that really does put them in the driving seat now. And again, just such a nuisance team. When you get them inside of trips, they are just impossible to kill time and time again. I mean, we see them from the get-go. It was already a bad start for the side of Ultra. You put into the spawn trap almost immediately. Don't really find a great deal out of it if you're Thieves, but it doesn't matter. You've already forced them back there. You've already got that map control. Insight finds 2 to break it back. You've then got to find more to just even get out. And it's all smiles on the side of Thieves. Looking good here in this series and in the control.
Somebody said something hilarious. Just hilarious for the LA Thieves there. Not a smile in sight for Toronto Ultra. Strictly business, lads. Good news, though. You do have a defensive round, so the likelihood of that round 5 is very, very high. Ghosty, though, has turned his round way upside down with that 8 spree. 14 of 13 for the young man. And here we go. Fighting his way forward. Beautiful shots are all in. We're still looking towards the zone.
Gotta make sure that you get your job done here, though. Ghosty all alone momentarily. Is an Inside combining well, though. They managed to find the kills. Hydra answers back with one of his own. He's keeping some presence inside of trips, and there you go. The rest of the reinforcements aren't already here. The sights are very much on it. Hydra on his way. Let's see what he can get going.
Not a whole lot. Oh, scrap. You didn't see the player to his left, though. That's going to be something he deals with a bit later on, but less than a minute to Røkkr here. Not a tremendous amount of work being done. There we go, scrap. Off the top side of Granny's right into the zone, but Beans out of spawn, keeping things going. Ghosty now fills the gap immediately. What a snap onto Kleenex. Not enough for the kill, but you'd love to see the efforts here. Envoy about to cut our teams in half now as he makes his way back over towards A.
Yeah, just watch the minimap here and which way the teams are going to be looking, which way they're going to put their pressure in. Where do you stick your eggs? Which basket do they go in? And it was very much for Toronto Ultra move forward and just try and keep the players that are coming in off the respawn away. Envoy doing the same thing on the other side of the map, though. It's a bit of a game of chess here. He's going to be able to find the momentum, if you like. That's a big win from Joe to Thieves, and then all of a sudden Thieves now really in a bad spot.
Yeah, Joe had the momentum on the slide. Kleenex, though, with a nice previous zone of 5, makes him 24-24 in the KD department, and we push forward. And again, folks, the makings of a final round, it was always going to be there. The Thieves not necessarily going for it. They don't want to get any more segments. It's going to come down to kills. Oh, we're just going to go straight for the win. Why not? The opportunity is still here. The game is far from over. I'd take it all back. Maybe 2.3.
That's the thing. I mean, Ultra have to stop them and they lose the game, don't they? That's the thing. They have to put the pressure in. They don't get the second take. Yeah, I mean, still there. 0.5. 0.5. They need to keep a hold of it. This.
And there's still plenty of lives left if this didn't go. But final round. And man, again, it's been a very, very attack heavy. I don't know. I'm just trying to gauge the body language. Where do we feel about this one, Ultra? You do not want to go down here. This is a 3-0 on the series. Fight to get that next map. It's Skyline for the hard point. It's going to be great fun to watch.
I mean, there you go. I mean, it's 2 attacking rounds, then 2 defensive rounds. Of course, you know, the team's kind of playing that game, if you like, of where you want to go for round number 5. Let's see who's going to get the attacking sign. If they're actually going to make the most of it here, though. I mean, Toronto Ultra, they were only in round number 3. They were trying for it, and they're going to get the opportunity to do it in round number 5. LA Thieves on the defensive side.
Again, we're going to see that first defensive win if the Thieves want the 3-0, but here we go. Opening exchanges, not the most sort of violent openers we've seen so far in the map. They're a lot more calm, and that's because Ultra have decided to go for the B hit, and that is a nice change. A wonderful late game adaptation right now from the Toronto squad. A couple of sweet kills, and Kleenex can't get the last man. The B zone still in contest, though. Ultra dancing for it.
Oh my word, I mean, Ultra managed to find so much map control. Thieves have answered back really well. The damage is being done. Now all of a sudden there's an open door over towards the A side. Beans locks it in there, but Envoy Scrap all combining well. These are big kills for the side of the LA Thieves. That's a momentary 4 dead.
And it's a great collapse on the A zone as well. They're not going to let anyone get away with that. Oh boy, pick a corner, any corner. Kleenex spots him out. Trying to keep this position open, and that is it. Magnificent win for Dead. Here we go, Thieves. Dive on in.
Let's see if they can do what they didn't manage to in their previous defensive rounds. They put them in this position, but they didn't punish them. But this time, oh dear, it's worse than a smack bottom, Miles. This is 6 in a row now for Envoy.
Yeah, it's not looking great. I mean, you've been sent to your room. Oh, they've taken away the Netflix passwords. That's it. What's next? You're not allowed to use your Uber account to go anywhere. I'm hurting the sponsors, presumably with calls like this, but you never know. This is huge work out of the LA Thieves. They are the daddies right now.
20-9 or 20-8. This Ghosty will find another kill, and then Joe deceives. It's looking all like Thieves now. 15 seconds to go. Ultra, you have to find a way through.
Bang, son. That was wicked work once again. 20-3. The LA Thieves. It is far more than a smacked bottom. It is disgusting work. They were saving their best for last. My goodness. In the City of Angels, these Devils have just torn Toronto into pieces. Revenge for the hockey, wasn't it? GG's. Wow.
Incredible work from the side of the Thieves, but Ultra. I mean, that's disappointing for them. 2 attacking rounds they lost there, by the way. That's a tough one to bet. You really don't get it going, in LA Thieves do what they want in round number 5, the 3-0 in their favor. I mean, that's kind of called it. I thought we'd have a close one, but LA Thieves make it work. Search and Destroy was fantastic. Really good job on the control and the hard point, but that was as expected. But the Search and Destroy will be the talking point. Ultra back to the drawing board.
Yeah, man. Again, it's a solid squad, but for them now, yeah, back to the drawing board indeed. The good news for Ultra, though, the next 2 games in the run towards the major are relatively easy, and then of course they do play Surge, so they've got a little bit of time to work themselves back into the swing of things and get that confidence back before they get over towards Dallas again. And man, just more than anything, our superstars though, the LA Thieves really did come out hard there. Slowish start in that red card hard point. Ultra definitely had their number there, at least, you know, bring them a good competition, but after that, a smackdown. Tunny, it was short-lived, but it was wonderful, mate. I'll see you in the green room. Okay. Take it away, Desk.
Newcastle's great Christopher Tunn. Go drop him a follow on Twitter. In the meantime, we've got to talk about the speed match that was LA Thieves versus Toronto Ultra. And I think you nailed it. At the very end of this match, you said, man, I can't wait for the rematch of LA Thieves versus Atlanta. These two are on a different level.
Yeah, I mean, it's those two and then the rest of the league. I mean, Toronto's a good team. They're a top 6 team. We expect them to be able to get some, you know, big wins over the course of the year, and Thieves just, like, destroyed them to close out the series. 2 defenses where we know, like, offense can be really good with the B zone being moved to top plat here, and just what do? You see Hydra slaying and then Envoys in your base catching fire. Ghosty, Scrap, it's a crazy roster.
I mean, yeah, when you talk about especially just control in general, like you talk about Toronto Ultra, they've gotten slightly better at it, but it hasn't been their strongest game mode. I'd like to see them try and work on Hacienda during this split because they have dropped to the worst attack team in the league. And when you're going up against top 3 defense teams like LA Thieves, you're gonna consistently get put into that box, into that spawn trap. I would have expected the exact same thing to happen on Vault. So Toronto Ultra, maybe working that map pool just a little bit.
LA Thieves looking strong today. You know this match meant a lot to that guy. Envoy dropping a 40 bomb in the game 3. Trying to prove to everyone up in Toronto I was not the problem.
Yeah, I mean, certainly not. Envoy's insane at this game. He's been consistent to this point, and now Paco looks like he's finding his groove, and in the player camps, they're just having fun, man. And I don't think we'll be seeing protocol control again in a Thieves series. I would be banning that forever going forward. I mean, honestly, like, these might have been their 3 best maps that we just saw as well, so you got to take that into consideration, but yeah, they look so good.
I need to know the lore of the tiers.
Yeah, just boo-hoo, buddy. Like, cry me a river, bro. I don't care what went wrong for y'all.
Joining us live.
That's what I'll be saying.
It's the one and only confident
That's
legend.
just me.
Scrap, true or false? In the 1v1 between Insight and Hydra, you told him to chow.
I told him to chow? I mean, hey, it's Paco. That guy's got the green light at all times, so I don't got to tell him anything.
What was it like playing your old team today?
You know, it's different, definitely different, but it's kind of cool to see, you know, what team I came from, how they like to play the game, and then how like my team likes to play the game now. So it's definitely different, but it was definitely a fun match.
Scrap, do you think any teams come close to you in Atlanta FaZe right now? Because it feels like there's a giant separation.
Online for sure. I mean, there's a bunch of them. You know, you probably put like 6 teams up there, but once LAN comes around, I don't know what happens. I think just like nerves come in, confidence goes down.
Yeah.
And like Major 1, it wasn't even close. I didn't really feel like any teams were close to us.
Scrap, you guys are absolutely rolling right now. I think you guys look better than you did even at the major, which was.
How's that search, eh?
Which was
how's that search?
That search was phenomenal. Dude, you guys look great there.
Come on now.
But Ernie, I gotta say, it's a lot of red card, bro. So like, are you guys widening your bag? How are you getting better at search and destroy? What have you guys been doing to improve there?
Yeah. You know, obviously Scrim and S&D a bunch. Honestly, they picked the red card right there. We were expected to play other maps, but they picked it. So, you know, if you're gonna give it to us, we'll play our map. You know, like that shit. Come on now.
We always say it.
You know, we're just getting better.
We always say it on the desk, like teams testing their map pool and stuff. Is that gonna be the primary focus for you guys the rest of the stage?
Yeah, I would say definitely like trying maps out, but I think that honestly we have a really good grasp on the maps right now. Like pretty much every map, I feel like we can play. But I just think trying to get as confident as we can on each map.
Let's get it.
You guys have a first round bye in the bracket next week. You have Minnesota or New York. What are we thinking?
Okay. Damn, that might be actually a good match. You know, I actually think it's gonna go in. Minnesota's playing good. Cloud9 looks like they're you know, coming around. So we'll see. I think it'll be a good match either way.
All right, thanks, Ernie. Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
That's Scrap, and that is a final 3-0 on another speedy day. But first, we have your Scuff play of the game. We go back to map 1. It was a difference of 8 seconds. How did the Thieves win it? Well, Ant drew it up. Now you get to witness it from the players' perspectives.
Yeah, just a flurry of aggression. I mean, they just broke in immediately. Toronto kind of gave it to them, but then they couldn't win on this hill. So just the urgency, like, all right, we got to fly forward, but like in the moment, still knowing the chaos that can ensue. Like Scrap being aware of the parallel at the end there is just awesome to see. Picking up the kill on Joe Deceives and then just pretty much closing it out. Great plays all around by Thieves, and this is why they're the best respawn team in the world.
Don't get it twisted. Toronto was close in this series, just not in the search. Game 1 and Game 3, very tight.
My favorite thing about that clip is that Ghosty picks up a sub and he's like, Hydra, I'm gonna run front for you, okay? I'm gonna left stick forward. I need you to clean up this kill. Hydra comes out in the end, and Paco. It feels like he was kind of moving during this series too. I feel like I haven't seen Hydra that comfortable on a map in a minute.
Yeah, the search he got going for sure.
Yeah.
And they got vibes over there, man. They got a good culture in the LA Thieves camp.
6 games done. Dan Ghosty getting the team fired up. But LA Thieves are finished for now. When we come back, it's 2 teams looking for 10 more points. Boston looking to climb even higher before the minor, but it's Cloud9 New York desperate for points, currently in 10th.
Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
The Esports World Cup is an official partner of the Call of Duty League. 2025 Cloud9 New York Team Pack is available right now. Each pack includes home and away operators, as well as this kitty weapon charm to keep you company while the competition gets smoked. Next time you boot up, suit up at the in-game shop.
Nah, for real. They be talking tough, but they won't get up in that field. ARPs and 223s get hit up in your grill. Iron on me like I'm Tony, like an orange eye pill. Come and get your shorty, cause she tryna cop a feel. She know look chaotic, keep it hot before the deal. And you steady talking out your neck, it's never real. So I say nah for real. So I say nah for real. Nah for real. Yeah.
I was wide awake and laughing. The doctor didn't even have to slap me. Cut the cord 10 years later, I'm a prodigy. Got more letters on my name than the Ivy League. Now I'm an MVP, CEO, VIP. All the youngest want to be like me. Cause I walk like a champion. Double helix, twist pedigree. Call me Red One, everybody got for me. Fame monster, Sasquatch posture. Big footsteps to follow, so use caution. Never duplicated, imitated so often. Feast on opposition, that's why I stay flossing. If you want the noise, I can bring it.
Unleash the breach. The team is ready to take on Cloud9 New York, and both squads are sporting 2-1 records so far in Major 2. You have to think whoever wins this, good chance of finishing top 6 or at least in a winner's bracket come Major 2.
Maybe. On the side of Boston Breach, though, when we talk about them, like, this could be a really tough matchup for them. This is one of those series where they could easily get caught slipping, coming off a Game 5 loss to Toronto Ultra, where S&D has not been their favorite.
Let's talk about the breach here, because Toronto Ultra got 3-0'd by this Cloud9 team. So what do Cammy, Purge, Awakening, and Snoopy have to look out for today, and who is the star to watch? Last time you put the spotlight on Awakening.
Yeah, the star is Snoopy. Obviously, I so love to big wake Purge all the time, but Snoopy's been unbelievable. I mean, you look at his statistics, like a 1.12 in our hard point on the season. They have an incredible map pool in that game mode. They're a top 4 HP team if you look at the season as a whole. Really, when they lose, though, it comes through the 2-3-5. That's what happens to them. Game 5 losses have been tough for them as of late.
All right, Allie, what do they need to clean up?
For Boston Breach, they need to focus First Bloods when it comes to this specific matchup because their S&D has been failing.
Okay.
And they also need to take a look and go back to their old ways when it comes to the attack because they've dropped down severely.
Cloud9 could use a 3-1 record. Let's see the roster. And talking to Sib, he said at the start of the season, it was blurry. Now the roles have been defined. They showed us this against Toronto, but then against Vancouver, it was a bit of a sloppy series towards the end. Do you expect them to be a little bit cleaner today, Nameless?
I mean, they played Vancouver the closest we've seen of anybody so far, right? And for them, yeah, I mean, you got a 3-0 versus Toronto, 3-0 versus Vegas. Sib, a huge step up. If you're going to criticize him so hard from stage 1, you got to show him his love now. Leading the team in damage at 3.4K, a hard point with almost a 1.2. He has been him since the change that he mentioned in the interview. Having attached, play more objective-minded, play in and around the hill, and allow me to go out and play aggressive and push out those cuts with my SMG. Him and Mac have been unbelievable this stage, and that's a recipe towards hard point success.
In the last matchup, Sib dropped a 1.23. Can he put up similar numbers against Cammy when he's been shooting the way he has?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Maps and modes for the day, Allie. You tell me who's dropping the most kills in our first hard point of 2. I have a feeling we're going to see Game 5, so let's get all the way through a triple dose of Hacienda.
That might be Purge if I'm looking at Hacienda map number 1, but I think this is a battle across the board for both of these teams. They have kind of mid-deep map pools where they're comfortable across the board, but they don't have anything that you can guarantee as a win. So I feel like both teams are comfortable with this map.
You like the Purge pick in? I want to go to kills first here.
I'm going to go Snoopy, most kills.
Hasi.
Okay, keep going now.
I just wanted to say the controls, whoever wins that wins the series to me. Both these teams have been so iffy in that game mode. And it's like question marks going in my head because all these guys in this lobby love playing for kills for the most part. So you would expect them to be good at control.
I don't know what to do. Both teams got some 3-0s. Who's been hotter recently?
This is a tough one, huh?
I'm going with Sib Swagger. His interview sold me.
I'm
going
so bad.
Cloud9 to start the day. Yes, I want to beat you so bad that I went first. Go ahead.
I said you want to be me so bad.
Be you.
I'm on Cloud9 New York as well.
Cloud9 New York. B, not beat.
Last time was 2-3-5 Cloud9. It ain't happening again. Purge is going to spawn in, search and destroy. Boston, get it done. Don't let me down, bro.
He's going Boston back to
They've
back.
let you down a few times
They've
now.
never let him down twice in a row.
Them and Optic have been selling
like
my picks.
I feel like they kind of have.
Are you worried at all, though? Like, as soon as you said that, what were you most nervous about?
Just the search and destroy, honestly.
Yeah, search and destroy.
I mean, like, Purge was kind of getting ISO'd and picked a lot, so the search is definitely a worry point for them. And the last time they played, Cammy got obliterated. Like, he had, like, the worst series he had in the entire year. But he has bounced back lately, and I think he can be the X factor and the difference in this matchup.
Ali, we have a few players to dial in on. Let's go ahead and showcase some footage of the stars in this matchup. Your players to watch in this series. Are you going Attach? Are you going Sib? Are we feeling some Mac?
No, actually, my players to watch is Awakening. I don't know why. I just feel like the impact of Giga hasn't been the same it has in the past, and I feel like that's why I'm also hesitant when I am going like for a Boston Breach pick in some of these series, because I just feel like the impact hasn't been there. So I'm still kind of waiting for us to get the true form of Giga Wake again.
Match is ready, so are we. Let's jump into it right now. We got Shift and Study. Go ahead, Al.
Questioning Giga.
Yeah, this is going to be I think Miles actually says before he left, off his cast, was like, this very well may be the best series of the weekend. I think just based on the experience we've seen from both these two teams, not just on the weekend, but throughout the Major 2 qualifiers, I think we're in for a good one, Jay.
Oh, yeah, we definitely in for a good one. This is those squads that are around that middle pack area. We don't really know if they're going to be 5th or in that 7th spot. They can just square up with each other every single time. So without question, in my opinion, this is going to be the best matchup that we have on the day. We're most likely going to load at least 4 maps because the last 2 series, quick 3-0s.
Yeah, it definitely could be that way. I mean, again, it's just kind of hard to fish, especially when we're looking at the map series layout. The 3 Haciendas, I won't say are a tremendous surprise, although I think the only one that I look at in the mix of the 3 would be the Hacienda Control being part of the picture here. Some of that, I think, just off the fact that you see Vault was vetoed by Cloud9, and just based on Boston and how they've played Protocol, the last 3 times they've played it, they're 0-3 in overall count when it comes to the map. So not good news there, but their Hacienda has also not necessarily been great either. So that's the one map that I think really kind of stands out like a sore thumb when you look at this from Boston's perspective. Otherwise, you look at this from Cloud9, is there anything on the map that you look at in particular and say, ooh, this could be treacherous ground for C9 New York?
No, I think you hit it right on the head. I think the Control is going to be the most important map of this series because you have one team who's basically struggling every single map for Control in Boston. And then on the opposite side for Cloud9, they don't want to play Vault. So they know that a majority of teams are not going to allow them to play their preferred map in Protocol. So you have to add another one to the mix. So they're going to get a couple more reps on Hasi. 2-2 on it compared to 1-1, but we would get there once we touch down on map number 3. We're going to start off with the hard point on Hasi and Hacienda Sandwich. But this one's going to be a fun one, Alan, because we've seen Cloud9 play it a couple of times. They had some great series. They did a great job versus Vancouver on this map to force that game number 5. But Boston, they are also no slouches on this map either, so this is going to be a square.
Yeah, Boston's played it every single series so far this Major 2 qualifiers. They're putting in the work, and it's paid off to this point. Only a 2-point loss to LAG, and that was in a near dramatic comeback fashion. So see how things unfold. Both of these 2 squads have definitely utilized this map in the past, but the average margin of victory for both teams has been about 20 points, so expect a barn burner here, although Cloud9 are off very quickly for first 4 kills going their way.
That is the perfect start to Hasi. You're not spawning on the preferred side for that P2 rotation. You find the initial kill, and now you have found every single kill after that. Finally, Awakening is able to put one on the board, but Boston now forced to cut their losses. They get a couple players to spawn over towards well. Gonna think about that rotation early, but 30 seconds, maybe more, off of P1's a great start for C9.
Yeah, 4-0 start for Kremp. Sib trying to sneak into P2, but he has been figured out, so it'll have to just be the remaining about 5 or 6 seconds that Cloud9 will have to resort to on P1. Now looking for their break over to P2. Good opener from Snoopy. Gets a read that the hit is largely on the way through well. Follow-up from Awakening is good, and Cloud9 are still trying to find some sort of influence, whether it be on the spawns or the hard point. Neither's going well so far.
Yeah, because those close spawns are still coming in for Boston. So they're able to reinforce their way right through driveway. 2-for-1 trade, 3-for-2 trade. Last player standing is going to be Kremp. He miraculously is able to catch a double. And he gives now his teammates opportunity to flood their way through the front door. Not the situation you want to be if you're Boston. You thought this was going to be a full hole.
Patch off the pinch. That'll work out nicely with Sim to really congest the last bit of this hit from Boston. Split spawn situation still coming through for the breach, though. Cammy has not been figured out on this long route, but he's got to get here quickly as Sim is cleaning things up from the front. And there's Cammy finally into the picture. That'll be good for the scrap time, but all things told, a very successful hard point for Cloud9.
Now you only have one player off the rotation, so what can Attach get done? He already was able to sneak by Awakening. Not able to spot him on the cross in towards 10. That's freebie number 1. Still going to get those close ones in towards the back, but Cloud9 now winning a rotation over towards New. Just want to make sure they're dominating over towards top side. Want to make sure you put players in towards top plat and try to secure these spawns. Now with Sim spawning towards the backside, you know, all the pressures from the front.
Yep, and that will work out for Boston. Snoopy trying to follow up to hold on to the high ground towards office, not going to work. So now Cloud9 get the setup on their break attempt. 30 seconds to fight. Awakening backside 10. Good first. More still on the way. Tough gun fight here as Sib and Attach will combine for a little 2v3 between them. Again, this has just been so smooth from Cloud9. Late on the rotation, but they get their setup, they get their break, and now we're fighting for the last 15.
Yeah, and it's a big 15 at that because you still have Boston committing very hard to try to find this last remaining junk time. And if you're Cloud9, you're already thinking about that rotation. Awakening, able to catch a double for that final 10. Kremp is going to die in a very crucial position because now there's Boston players all around him.
Yeah, absolutely the case. Attach, nice double, create some space between him and Snoopy. Oh, ring around the Rosie. A couple of shots come through. Attach almost able to get the collide onto Awakening, who turns that into a double of his own. Mac trying to follow up with Kremp, and they will re-break the hard point quickly for Cloud9.
And now they're able to stabilize. Clean forward dead. You know where your teammates just spawn over towards Bo. Everyone starts to turn around. You can lock them in towards the backside of Lambo and blow this game wide open. You do have a water route, though, on the cards here for Purge. Seems like Cloud9 are not going to be aware of it. Purge is the playmaker.
Yep, and he's going to be able to find the opener. Now in for the contest. Back and forth pitch, start the kill feed. Snoopy last one up, but Sim has the final word again. It has been a great beginning here for Sim. You've talked to him a lot about how he's kind of found his spark and what that has really allowed this Cloud9 team to do. They look like a brand new squad here in Major 2 quals.
Yeah, they're in sync, man. They have figured out their recipe for success, and that's just having Attach obviously play more of the objective role. Everyone has to fill it at certain points. But you're just allowing your slayers to slay. Mac is able to line up 3 in a row. Control spawns on the backside. And this score just continues to get worse. The thing is about Boston, though, with their hardpoint game, I know they're sitting top 4 overall, but a majority of their success is usually coming through breaking. You can't break versus some of these teams, and it's already shown.
Yeah, and you've got a really menacing stat line for Purge. Just 3 and 15. Can't get anything going. Mac, long spree, finally put to rest, but they are absolutely cooking. Purge trying to follow up, but it is a massive lead for Cloud9 as we jump to a New York. Listen in.
Purge is on Sky, Purge is on Sky. They're open. They're close. He's close. Give me Purge. I'm pushing the back of him. He's in the back. In the back, Purge. Get to New. They're already in the back. Okay, just play tight. I'm not in the back. I spawn in New. I'll put the guy in the back. Push the guy in the back again. I'm manning, Mac, you in chat. Yeah, I'll get spawned. I'm gonna kill him. 2 in the back. 2 in the back. Front. I spawned out deepest smoke. Zero time's all good. I'm gonna live in lobby. I'll go water. I'll go. No, I already went. It's fun. Honestly, I'm going back up. Top left. He's top left front. I'm killing I'll expect you guys water. I'll stay front for you. Wait, no, close back. Stay left, long cast. Time came, Luke. He pushed me on Zig. What's up front limbo? What's up front? I'll tell him up time. Zig weak. On time, dead. Inside of Zig. Push up front dead. I'll see you in the back. You guys close up. I'm back. In front. Look my Zig. I'm reloading. All in the back. Every Zig is well. I'm pitching for all lobby. I'm in the back then. 2 in back right here. I'm gonna Zig now. I shot it for you. The back. I'm laying the back. Cammy first. Spawn front. I spawned well. You and you, Dante. Heard you. I can help you. I'll see money. I'm saying weak. Office weak. One more. Let's go well. I'm missing one. Awakening's in the back now. He's gonna be L or something. Alright. You want to be back here with you? You want to? Let's go office. I want me Awakening dead. I'm stay up here. Get him one time. Just get bang time. Nothing barrel. 2 secret. I'll get on one. Gotta be Ivy. I'm trying Ivy. Ivy. Weak. Wells weak. Left fire. Easy. Alright, big kills. You can pinch. I'm pitching. I'm one
waiting for you guys.
Torch cat. I'm waiting for you guys.
He went combo.
He's not pitch. Every pitch. Still cat. He's back to front. Cross. I don't want time. Ivy gets front, okay? I'm pitching cat now. One minute open. Someone front. Ivy. Nice. Let's go. Let's go. I'm watching you. Spawn well.
No shortage of passion in those comms there, Jay. Cloud9 continuing to grow in their lead, about 80 points to the good, and look at the setup going over towards New.
Man, they're just early off of every single rotation. We're talking about when they need to find breaks, they're getting it. They started off at that P2. You win the rotation over towards New, keep it scrappy. And now here at P4, which tends to be a money hill. How long can they hold this for? It's already 3 dead. Last flare contesting a clean 4. You know your teammate spawns over towards Lambo. Everyone eyeing up towards Boathouse.
Yeah, this has just been playing from behind the 8 ball for Boston for what feels like 3-4 hard points in a row. Just not quite able to get any rotational wins, and then Cloud9 are just putting on a masterclass in terms of spawn manipulation. Mac off the pinch, a little back and forth inside the hard point. Mac coming back to the play. Stray nade from Attach takes him out of the picture, but Attach also finds the final kill. And with 20 seconds remaining, Cloud9 can obviously well-handedly put this game out of reach.
Yeah, this game is just getting nasty. Boston haven't found a step to stand on yet. A clean 4 dead, Lisa. Only 15 seconds remaining there at P4. It needs to be this P1 into the P2 for them to get back into the game. An 100-point difference is going to allow Cloud9 to start to develop on some of these long routes. They know they have time to make some plays. But you also just don't want to allow them to get kills and then sit in that time.
Yeah, Sib is just ripping apart this Boston squad. Doesn't matter what weapon he has. 27 and 15. In a little bit of trouble here. And will not be able to slip away from Awakening, but he does create time for Cloud9 to get onto the hard point and get close to that 250-point mark. Cramp up top, nice little snap down low, but doesn't make a difference as Boston just have so many numbers. They will get back into the time.
Yeah, they need this all of this time. They just need to play it patient though, because you know Cloud9 are going to start to play a little bit safe. They don't want to flip this map and lose the rotation over towards New. Just need someone to open up with a double kill. Potentially start to be aggressive, but Mac and Sim already combined for 2. They have already top mid presence. They don't want to allow them to give up this time for free. But still in the map control is Cloud9 for that next hard point.
Yeah, there's a big kill right there from Sid as well. Allows Cloud9 to focus purely on rotation. Look at Sid, number 3 in blue, already on the pinch from around the back, and he will find the kill to shut down the Boston break attempt to P2. 20 seconds remain before Cloud9 can put this first map to bed, and with a couple of stray eliminations happening down towards well side, this Boston team just looks really out of sync when they don't have a rotational win.
Yeah, and that's tough, man, because you rely heavily, usually on your breaking to get into some of these hard points. But on a map like Hacienda, they're just going to make you pay for it with better setups. Cloud9 dominant in map number 1.
Yeah, it really was one of those situations where, I mean, you kind of mentioned it, where with Boston's hard point, a lot of their success coming by way of their break attempts, but a map like Hacienda with players who know what they're doing on the macro side of manipulating spawns and continuing to keep the map kind of in their favor, keep the map in front of you. It just never really allowed Boston to get anything going. I mean, Purge had a slow start, that's for sure, but I mean, there really wasn't a rotational win for Boston anywhere in that second half of the map.
And the thing is, we keep talking about their rotations. They couldn't win a couple. It's just like the way that they were approaching their breaks as well, Alan, didn't really make sense to me. As soon as we jump into that listening, and it's Cloud9, just non-stop energy into that P2 HP. Boston were the team initially in there. They found 3 kills. They knew that there was 1 player left alive, but Kremp just did such a great job of staying alive through side door, forcing Boston to consistently try to think about him. He stalls enough time for his teammates to eventually approach from the front. They find a break. Sib walks his way, actually swims his way through that water side, and is able to catch a double. But then the re-break opportunity for Boston, you're getting those close well spawns. They decide to 4-hit driveway. That's the thing that doesn't make sense to me, because there's only 30 seconds left on P2. 4-hitting driveway, if you don't get those kills, you're still going to spawn on that side of the map for that next hard point. So it just looked like Boston weren't really in sync of how they wanted to execute these proper breaks here, but that's just not how you're going to be able to do it when Cloud9 are just simply outclassing you in the fundamentals.
Clean stuff from Cloud9. It continues to trend in their direction. The only stumble that they've had so far, really since Madrid, was that series versus Vancouver. Just obviously kind of blown out of map number 5 there. They lost that 6-1, but outside of that, I mean, everything seems like it's really starting to click for Cloud9. And maybe all it was if Sim said it himself, he just needed to learn how to shoot straight again. but I don't think it's just that. It's just the way they're playing around the combination of Kremp and Mac just looks a lot more, I would say, like intentional. It just felt like so many times at the beginning of this Cloud9 season, it was a lot of trying to do the right things on rotation, but the SMGs were nowhere to be found around what Attach and Sib were trying to do. But now it looks like they're on the same page, and yeah, this has been really fun to watch if you're a Cloud9 fan.
Hey, you could just tell by the entire map one. We're early off the rotations to all of these money hills. You had Boston still contesting at the end of P3 with about 20 seconds left. Attach said, okay, you guys can have that. You can take that final 15 to 20 seconds. I'm going to go to the money hill at P4 and set up properly, nice and early. And he was able to soak up almost 3 minutes in hill time. So Attach, you played that objective. The game gets a lot easier for everybody else.
Indeed the case. So now we take our focus to the Vault, Search, and Destroy. It has not been a map with a lot of success for Cloud9. They played it a lot through the Major 1 qualifiers. They only won it a single time, and that came in week number 1. For Boston, they've barely played it at all up until last week where they were able to find a win versus LAG. So some question marks here, I think, for both these two teams in terms of what we're going to get on this map number 2.
Yeah, I think obviously on the side of Boston, you only played it one time versus LAG. You were able to walk away victorious in a 6-4 fashion. A lot of that being due to the dominance that you were able to show on your defensive side. Basically 100% every single time they needed to retake one of those bomb plants, they found it. Attacks is what they need to work on, and that's the same thing that Cloud9 needs to fix on their Vault, Search, and Destroy. We're talking about being dead last in first bloods on your attacking rounds, which isn't pretty good because you know a lot of that is going to be usually in the first 5 to 10 seconds in towards that A site with your SMGs. But then even when they get the bomb planted or even when they find the first kill, their post-plant situations aren't really the best. When they plant third most on the map, Alan, that means you have a lot of reps. You're getting the bomb down a majority of the times, but every single setup that you have tried to throw at them are easily getting broken into. So what kind of adjustments Cloud9 have made so far in their Vault S&D, we're gonna have to wait and find out.
Yeah, you can actually extend that conversation point to the Search Destroy at large for Cloud9. I mean, just on active maps, they're 4th in overall plant percentage, but they're 11th in the league at post-plant win percentage, so the objective focus has not necessarily been there. The odd thing is, though, at the other side of things, they actually let the bomb get planted the most in the league, but they're in the top half in terms of being able to successfully retake. So there's a level of, again, 6 of one, half a dozen of another, where you're getting the bomb down a lot, not being able to successfully hold it, allowing the bomb to get down a lot, but being able to successfully retake it. So a level of, I think, focus needed on these post plants, especially considering that we are expecting the bomb to be planted pretty often on Vault Search.
Yeah, this is usually what the map turns into. Head bashing towards the A site. Let's get the bomb down. Let's play our post plant scenario. And this is where I want to talk about Boston Breach's Search and Destroy, because everybody keeps saying like they're not really a good Search and Destroy team. Like they should be a lot better in that mode. But watching them yesterday in their series, in that map number 5 on Skyline, where they ended up falling short the way that they did versus Ultra, it's just the early round setups from Boston, in my opinion. Because I'm sitting there watching, and it's a lot of individual players trying to make plays. Like Purge multiple times getting caught off guard. He had 4 first deaths yesterday. You don't really want to start a Search and Destroy like that as a team. Like you want to rely on teamwork, and then when you need to make those mid-round adjustments, when you start to catch some timings, depending on what people are seeing on the map, that's when you start hitting these individual routes because it can catch them off guard.
Yeah,
it's just you can't start off these SD maps trying to make individual hero plays.
And I think that is kind of the categorical way of talking about Boston, is they live and die by their first bloods. Whether they get them and then they win the round, or they lose them and they lose the round. It really doesn't feel like there's much of a level deeper than that. But outside of this matchup, got to keep in mind that this will be our final weekend of Major 2 qualifiers before we take a bit of a break and we up the stakes a touch. Minor 2 will be happening this upcoming weekend, next weekend. And this is where the tournament will stand. I'm actually kind of keeping my eye on Cloud9 versus Minnesota. Based on how both these two teams are playing, that should be an absolutely thrilling first round. Boston, on the other hand, will have to go up against a red-hot Surge team thanks to the introduction of Neptune to the roster. And, of course, our top 4 teams are, for the most part, looking solid. Toronto maybe a little bit the shakiest of the 4 so far. Any other thoughts you've got about that bracket before we jump into map 2 here, Jay?
Hey, man, one of those green teams in that first matchup will get a W. That's all I want to say, Alan. All the green teams right now are tending to struggle a little bit. Someone's got to turn it around.
That's fair. I know Reddit has already started to find ways to create panic.
Hey, Vegas got a map. Remember that, Alan? Vegas got a map.
I think we casted that, didn't we?
Yep. Yeah, we did. LAT 4 underground, bottom Skyline. Yep, I remember that.
Bang. All right, here we go. Let's see what we get for map number 2. Looking at the difference between map 2s and map 5s, Cloud9 have not been the iciest squad, to say it plainly. 1 and 5 in their map 5s. Them and LAG are near the bottom of the leaderboards when it comes to being able to clutch up in 5 map situations. But that is, again, a conversation we'll hold for another time, as Mac is already getting to work on the post point here today.
You already have players, though, in towards bottom vault, ready to contest them, but Mac has to win a big one-on-one gunfight. Turns that one now into a 3v2. Cammy and Purge left to clutch on up.
Yeah, really like this post plant from Cloud9. Initially, it's just Mac inside the bomb site, but then a re-wrap back over through mid allows Kremp to help out. Nice shots from Cammy. Gives himself a chance to isolate a 1v1 down low. Pistol out for it, and the SMG just too strong. Cloud9 successful in their first post plant.
Yeah, biggest kill of the round without question is Max one-on-one. He's able to find one before dropping, but doesn't even end up dropping. He just allows that other teammate not to play for that trade because Mac wasn't weak. But then that basically secures the round, because if you allow that bomb site to get away from you and Boston's just bombard their way on in, you didn't really have a lot of angles to approach the defuse, just in case they were going to hop on it through pool. But Mac plants the bomb, Mac finds the kill, Mac secures the round.
Yep, Kremp was the player up top in Vault that was able to assist to make sure that trade didn't come through as well. So again, that little duality between the two working out nicely. Stun over the top to the balcony will hit. Information here for Cloud9 as they sprint through mid-map. Oh, and Cammy's got absolutely no idea. So now you've got an opportunity here to try to contest this post planet for Cloud9.
And Awakening does give up his positioning, but he also finds a kill, makes it a 3v3. But Mac knows we have the numbers in towards the site. Let me just fly on in. Now Awakening left in a 1v3. He's on it, though.
Yeah, and Awakening is not going to get here to touch this and check in time. Attach stepping in, making sure that the diffuser stays safe, and Cloud9 looking really solid here in the first 2 rounds. Love the idea on both the little passive offensive setup, followed up by this really aggressive push through mid on the defense.
Yeah, Tone sending around right there on the defensive side. I think both SMGs were able to catch the timing though on Awakening, who was over towards B Street, because he was sitting on the magic tree, looking through his mid lobby, but as soon as he turns right, they double push through and are able to find that first blood onto Cammy. Successful on the retake. Max just flying in, finding a double. Allows Cloud9 to go up comfortably 2-0.
Yep.
As they go back on the attack.
Similar look here, except that Kremp is going to help out by playing aggressive through Vault stairs. Boston just kind of swarming in the upper hallways. Sib playing in an aggressive angle through Palms. Attacks the first one to drop. Sib has to make use of this position, but just does not expect that they're the 3 branch members that are there. Kremp for one, Mac trying to step away. Here comes the retake.
Oh, Mac's just going to give it up. He knows that he's going to get bombarded. Simply outnumbered. I don't know if they fixed that hopper, but Snoopy's just going to stick it.
Oh, but Kremp this route. No, not going to quite get there in time. Tries to alert Mac that he's on for the defuse, but Purge gets the read, finds the pistol kill, and Boston are on the board.
You can see, like, that round right there for Cloud9, it worked out the way that they wanted to. You were able to pull a couple players from Boston on the defensive setup from that full side, because they were able to spot Kremp as he dropped in through bottom ball. But then once they find that kill, Sib was going to be their safety net. Just a little trigger happy there for that first kill. Turns that corner, and all of a sudden there's 3 Boston players playing for you. And they just simply get outnumbered in the site. And they're able to put one on the board.
Yeah, just a lot for Sib to tackle through that backside palm. So Boston get away with their defensive setup. Now it's just down to can they find a response here on the attack. Purge untouched. And, oh, this is because Cloud9 wants to try to challenge this through the bottom side of Vault. Snoopy working with him, though. Wins out on the trades. And Awakening trying to get a little bit of a 1v1 here. Going to be overwhelmed from behind, and now that's going to turn into a 2v2. A little bit delayed on this plant as well for Boston.
It's beautiful played right there from Cloud9 to isolate onto Awakening. And now they have the info. Okay, bomb goes down there. They're most likely double stacking in towards the site. So you're running around as an army of 2 trying to retake your way through pool. They're getting a lot of info. Okay, no one's outside. They got to be in.
Yeah, they haven't seen Cammy yet, but I believe Sib may have just seen the butt of the rifle from Cammy. Attach, unfortunately, gets the shots in to take care of Sib, but on the transition, Attach clean with it, not allowing Cammy to reposition. And that'll turn into a 3rd round for Cloud9.
And it all starts with Sib flying in. Has that Jacko in hand. is able to find that first kill before Attach puts bullets in the backside. But then in a one-on-one, Cammy knows that eventually I probably have to take this chow here. Don't want to get bad timing, but by the time he commits it, Attach is able to pepper him up with a couple bullets, have him a little bit weak, switch to the pistol for the hot swap, and close out the round there for Cloud9. A 2v3 clutch allows them a 2-round advantage.
Yep. See what Boston try to get this thing back into more level terms. Not going to go for the upper balcony play this time. Instead, it's going to be a pretty much a 4-man stack here at mid. Kremp is the one watching up top. Mac has not tried to play in for a plant yet, and he's going to read that Boston were trying to contest this the whole way through. And now you start to wonder, what does Cloud9 have cooked to try to find some sort of an adaptation to this?
Yeah, you can already see they are cooking up something on the overextension. They push their way through Pole. Gonna try to trap them over towards B side, but look at the positioning from Sib. He can line up a couple.
Sure can. There's the first easily found. Doesn't expect a second initially, but Cloud9 still surround. Deal with every single member, and they already know where Awakening is. Bomb will start to be planted here at B, and Awakening, there's just no chance for this 1v4. Surely not.
Hell no. Yeah, not at that B site. You have to kill all 4 players and try to find an angle to think about this defuse, but time is already getting away from him. The setup too strong there for Cloud9, and that is such a beautiful round there from C9 because it all starts with the info that Attach is able to get through bottom mid. All he's doing is, okay, there's a lot of attacks being invested here. I at least saw 2 players, so they're probably going to get aggressive through mid map, probably drop down in the vault. Once he gives that comm, he backs down all the way to B Street, watches the overextension. Everyone else gets the info that, okay, they're probably going to be really aggressive in the A side. That's why you had Max sitting out towards Pole. But then once they see, okay, there's 2 people inside, let's just push their base. And Sib is able to get behind enemy lines for that first blood. Everyone else just collapses. And Cloud9 starting to pull away now.
Yeah, looking really clean. 4-1 the count. Up and over, right back into the site. Both SMGs here for Boston. Trophy system to support them as they get to work on the plant. Quick play over towards Pool, though, for the defense of Cloud9. They will take this position over. Trophy system also seen and deleted. A couple of toes tagged by Sib. Attach working with him at the crossfire, but he actually tried to commit on in. Mac trying to force the issue. He finds the first. Sib gets another. And now it's just down to where is Cammy. And he's playing poolside. Hopping for the defuse. No angle at it. Sib a couple of shots out. Cammy just trying to get the damage in, but the defuse is stuck the whole way, and Cloud9 are on 5.
Like, is Cammy ever going to get active? Like, on the pinch or anything? He knows that there's nonstop pressure over towards Pool, but he just waits for all the action to go down, eventually for him to wrap back and try to assist his teammates. It's just too bad there's no teammates to try to help out. The angle of the bomb plant allows C9 to just simply stick it, watch over. You had Sib making sure no one was dropping in towards Vault. But then once you get the info, shoulder, stick the defuse, clean around right there from Cloud9 on the retake.
It just feels like Cloud9 are getting such an easy read on Boston overall right now. Quick onto the plant once again, go Cloud9. Pretty default on this setup for Boston, and they will not be able to challenge this anytime soon. Gonna triple stack together on the attempt to reclaim the balconies, but Attach is already through. Cramp trying to slip away. No one's going to expect that. Attach is playing from this position, though. He's going to find the first. Has a chance to challenge the Pool over here as well. Doesn't find the player behind him. So hold on. Boston have numbers, but Awakening just dealt with that range, and Attach actually slips away from the intended
Oh, my!
And takes care of Snoopy. Oh, mercy. Purge, last one left. 1v2, no way, no sir. 6-1 to search. Cloud9 smoking Boston.
Oh my God, like, I don't know what's going on so far with a couple of these middle of the pack teams so far in Major 2 qualifiers, but they have just found what they were looking for. Like the fact that C9 are making these adjustments the way that they did in Search and Destroy, because all I hear about when I talk about Cloud9 is, if Kremp is dead, he's not. If Kremp is dead, you're not going to win Search and Destroys. That guy does everything for the team. But everyone played a part in that map right there. Attach had his moments. Obviously, Pops 3 in that final round. I don't know why Snoopy took such a long route to try to locate where Attach was, to where you allow Attach to not only find another kill onto your teammates, but then also take care of you as well. They just simply outclassed them on this map. They gained the info early on, completely countered them in certain aspects, but I think you hit it on the head, Alan. They just were ready for everything that Boston were going to have thrown at them. But now Cloud9 up 2-0 in a dominant fashion.
Wow. This has been electric from Cloud9. And, you know, we're starting to see not only what this means in terms of Civ being, you know, kind of more stable onto the roster, but this feels like the roster we would have expected from day number 1. And I think that leads to some very dangerous prospects as we continue into the minor and, of course, the rest of Major 2 qualifiers. But let's get the reactions from the desk, because this has been one-sided as hell.
You got to win one, Boston. Before the minor, you got to win one map. I don't think you're coming back in this series. I'm not ruling it out, but Cloud9 is looking hot. And if you are an attached owner in fantasy,
feeling good.
Stock is at an all-time high.
Yeah, he's doing it all. I mean, the guy had almost 3 minutes on that map. Number 1 goes off in the Search and Destroy. And that's a map that they desperately needed in Search and Destroy. Was this Vault 1 and 4 coming into it? We know that Cloud9 have been working on all areas of their game.
Yep.
And as Jay mentioned, like, if it wasn't Kremp, then nobody was doing anything. Everybody's so active on this one. When the information comes in, they know where to pounce. And you see Mac just dominating this bottom vault. Purge getting caught when they need to catch him. Like, Boston's been a different team, guys.
Yeah.
Like, this Boston team just, the playmaking ability.
It's declined.
It's declined a lot. I don't know if it's confidence or what it's been, especially in the Search and Destroy game mode. They just haven't been going toe-to-toe with teams recently in that game mode.
I mean, they're winning the first blood battle, and they're one of the best conversion teams in the game, and they just weren't able to do it during this series versus Cloud9. I thought it was going to come down to the opening duels. I mean, Cloud9, they're sitting at 8th at getting them, but if they do, they're first overall in converting, and that just wasn't the tail. It was just kind of the map control from the side of Cloud9 New York. Even with a man down, I mean, their post plants were just insane.
Dirty Dill running, turning, burning. 8-3. Mac gets off to a 5-0 start, including some plants. Cloud9 is rolling up 2-0 on match point, leading into control. If you look at Boston, they look a bit defeated in the cameras.
Yeah, I mean,
how are they in this game mode, though?
I mean, they're not good at control, Chris. That's concerning. We're looking at another potential 3-0. Like, is this Friday all over again? What is going on? But yeah, for Cloud9, I mean, the league gets very interesting if this is the Cloud9 that we're going to see on a consistent basis, because they got a star-studded lineup. They start putting it together strategically, they're going to be a problem.
Allie, you said Purge was going to drop the most kills in game 1. He had about 13 towards the end of that game. Is that the conclusion you're drawing today?
It is not the conclusion I am drawing, but I am going to draw literally the break-off of this first hardpoint is the cleanest Hacienda break-off I have ever seen, and also set them up for so much success for the rest of this map. So let's hop right into it. We're going to open up this mini-map, and what works out so well here for Cloud9 is just the fact that they accidentally completely counter Boston here. So Cloud9, this is the absolute opening break. They're going to send everybody towards this right side of hallways. Boston Breach is going to mirror them on the other side. The difference here is that somebody instantly hops into the hill from the Cloud9 right here and gets a nade up into this top window. What does that do? It weakens all 3 of the Boston Breach players and allows the ARs on the top side of these hallways to get some of these kills. So I'm going to let this roll for just a second, because this is picture perfect. So it's going to be Mac. He gets in the hill, he gets some damage in the top 3 players, wins that opening blood, which allows his teammates not only the information of all of them being there, but to shut down and get a full 4 dead in the opening seconds of this hard point. And that's not it. They go on to do it a second time. So now we're going to stop again. Everybody's down the side of Boston Breach. Obviously, we're talking about professionals here. They understand how these spawns are going to work. Boston Breach is going to spawn out towards fences. Number 3, already set up for these kills. And number 1 is going to play this backup in case anybody spawns back here to try and hit what will be a pinch onto this P1. And they get a second wipe for the side of Cloud9. And not only does Cloud9 get 40 seconds off of this opening P1, they then use their map pressure to push into the side of Lambo and win not only the second rotation, but the 3rd one over to fences as well. And with momentum like that, you're bound to win a hardpoint.
Cloud9 with the positional advantage in a number of those gunfights as well. They used the headies pretty effectively.
Yeah, he's pretty good. And Sip popped off that map, man. I mean, he's been saying, like, if as long as Attach plays in the hill, I'm going to fry. And that's exactly what he did. And I vividly remember being in the green room, me and Jay standing up like, Attach, you have 9 seconds in the hill, brother. You got to be in it. And if you know he's in the hill, you know he's not simply playing for kills. Everybody else can do their thing. It is simple at the end of the day.
Hacienda. You're 4-9 across all control maps, 30% win rate. I think we're going to a game 4 in Boston. Let's get weird.
4-9? You think they're going to a game 4? I don't know.
It could happen.
I don't know. It's feeling
bad odds. I'm feeling it though. Double down.
Do not take this guy.
You're allowed to feel whatever you want to feel, Chris, and I don't mean that with any sort of pause. That's a pause right there. I got Jay, what are we talking about? Jay, Hacienda control. Let's get into that conversation before I get myself fired.
Yeah, Hacienda control. It should be a fun one, brother, because on one side, obviously, neither one of these squads really like to play it a lot. If you are C9, you had to start to add this to the map pool because of how bad you guys are at Vault. You're not going to get protocol every series. The good thing is you do have a couple reps on it. And the biggest thing that I look at with them on their Hacienda control is the fact that they have a lot of objective focus. On the opposite side for Boston, they get outslayed on both the offenses and the defenses, and they don't really average a lot of segments to their name. So they're not giving themselves a lot of time to even work some of these plays. So they just probably are going to have to figure it out. It has to start with the killer.
Yeah, I think that is part of it. Is we just need to see some signs of life right now because Boston's getting absolutely smoked. I just have not been able to do anything, like we talked about, kind of behind the 8-ball throughout the entirety of the Hacienda hardpoint, and then never really holding a candle what Cloud9 was throwing at him in the search and destroy. So here we go. Boston starting off on offense. This would be a prime opportunity in time to just get the guns hot and just start finding some momentum.
You already see the approach for Boston. You want to attack over towards Seeker. You want to try to be the aggressor. Start off initially over towards B, but Sid lines up a double frag. Sid lines up a 3-piece, and that's a clean 4 dead, all map control, and now you're trapped.
I mean, that's just one of those kind of day one things here when it comes to Hacienda control. We know for a fact that the battle is going to ensue topside fire, and it's just a couple of pre-fire shots and then a nade just lands right in your back pocket. And Cloud9 are already packing the pain onto Boston. And, well, there's an exit starting to come through the middle of the map here. Attach is mostly focused on what's happening over towards the B point. He's being a little bit challenged from 2 sides at once. So there we go, 3 for 1. And Boston will have an opportunity to stop the clock at B.
Oh, but Sid finding that kill makes the rest of the Boston players who are on that B point have to focus him. Awakening is 1 shot. Snoopy able to finish that kill on the Sid. This should allow his teammates now off the respawn to retake with ease before that first segment gets complete. Only 28 seconds to go, still in round number 1. And Boston have decided to just hop A to pause game clock.
Yeah, have to have it. Sib looking to try to open something up in the corner. Long range shots to Awakening. Those are feisty. Cramped to 1, able to benefit though for 3 in a row. Clock will continue to tick, and he knows he's got Awakening on the other side of the hallway, but the AR too strong at that range. Mac trying to follow up, stopping the pinch from happening. Now a little dance with Snoopy, and the overwhelming pressure of Cloud9 continues to just steamroll the Boston breach. Down to 10 seconds, Boston stuck in spawn.
Yep, you have no chance in this round. You cannot come off the respawn with only 7 seconds left and think you can pause the game clock. You have just been steamrolled here in round number 1, and Cloud9 are just continuing their hot streak so far in this series. Only allow 1 segment to get away from them, and that could be pretty easy to make up for on a map like Hasi.
It's just Boston don't look ready for this matchup right now.
Hell no.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's just like no one's really hanging with the tempo, the speed, and just the overall precision that we're getting from Cloud9. Where on the other front, all 4 players are smoking. As we take a look at the other side of this break-off, again, you know this battle over towards... whoa, okay. Oh, we're running into the nades. That's unfortunate. Okay, I was about to say, the other side of this break-off, and it just, everyone gets stuck in that hallway, Jay. It's just, New York have such good manipulation of the space.
Yeah, it's just tough, and you know, the biggest thing about control is your initial break-offs. If you go 4 dead off the rip, then you're gonna waste a lot of time just simply working out of your base. You cannot afford that to continue to happen, but now it's Cloud9's opportunity to have an offense of their own. Boston able to find 3, but Kemp responds with 1 to maintain a little bit of this map control that he has.
Yeah, Awakening playing over towards Rock side. You're going to have Purge up top where Kremp is located. Cloud9 will very patiently make their way in towards Secret Hall. As Kremp found a route here, sure looks to have catches Cammy by surprise, and now he could just jump into the B zone, put a pause on the clock, and look at the quick spawn from Well here. Cloud9, all eyes towards B.
Everybody walk towards the backside of Plat. You already have players in a position to contest it in Sib. He's able to find 1. Kremp flies on into 10, finds another. So you have the 3v2 numbers advantage. Just got to locate where the hell the rest of everybody is from Boston. At least you know now. Awakening last player towards top. Plat, the team shot's good enough. Second segment locked.
And you got a pinch on the way from Kremp. Yep, he'll find 1 up top. Not going to be able to get into the mix for the second initially, but then just comes right back into the fight as soon as he's called upon. Last 1v1 for the B zone. Purge dealt with this Sib. Oh my, 12 and 4. Now off the reload, gonna find kill number 3 in a row, and you've already got Cloud9 on AJ. I mean, oh, mercy me. Cloud9 showing no respect to Boston.
Yeah, this is getting nasty, man. Boston need to be able to stop the bleeding. The only one that can do something about it is going to be Snoopy. He gets taken care of. That's already a 3 dead, a double stack, making a triple stack on the 8 point. Second segment locked. There's no way in hell C9 loses this round.
Awakening gets the first chance to maybe contest from Snoopy, but no, not gonna happen. And Kremp roars in the player cams. Cloud9, I mean, wow. Is this one of those things you look at how they've played in the first 2 weeks of qualifiers and say that this team's looking like a contender all of a sudden?
Yes, without question. With the way that they're playing, we're talking about they were struggling in their hard points because they couldn't find a consistent way to win. Now they realize, okay, we need to put a lot more focus on our objective play. They win the first map by 100. The adjustments on the Vault Search and Destroy, which is a 1-4 map on the season for them, they basically played that one perfect. Now you get to a control where you need to be able to add this one to the map pool, and you are just beating the living hell out of Boston Breach every opportunity you get a chance to. This is the Cloud9 we were expecting in the beginning of the season. Obviously, they go through a rough patch. You got people talking about players potentially getting dropped, but I'm happy that they stuck with this roster because these results are insane.
Yeah, they figured it out without question. Makes you kind of wonder how good is this Vancouver team if they were able to somehow beat this Cloud9 squad. I think they're pretty darn good, tell you that much. Boston fighting for their lives out of spawn here in round number 3. And it just feels over, Jay. I just don't know how else to say it. This just feels like Boston are just already out of the map.
Yeah, how about we just slow the game down? Let's start to go for a team push here because they keep on getting isolated in this gunfight. You're consistently having to turn around because all the map control is still in favor of Cloud9. And they are just making your life a living hell off the respawn. Finally, a trade on to Mac. But here comes Sib. He finds another one. Still, you have players from Cloud9 in aggressive angles to simply not let you out your base for free.
Yep. Stun will land onto Cramp on 6 in a row. Purge, the one feeling like he wants to try to test this as there's a team kill and an elimination from Attach, and that's just the game right there, brother. Snoopy, the last one alive, has slipped through on the other side of A. Maybe a chance for him to come behind the play and open up space for his squad mates, but I mean, it's 25 plus 16 and Kremp's on 9, beaming him across the map. Yep. How about a quick Sunday for you, friends? Unbelievable. Kremp for double digits, and yeah, send him home.
We need to have an option, Alan, for like white flags in series because some of these teams definitely could have used it today because Cloud9 just took care of business. A dominant 3-0. Yeah, Sib, talk that talk because you've been able to walk that walk as of recent, man. They have just found what they were looking for when this team first was going to be formed. And now they're just completely running away with it, man. C9, what a series.
I mean, Jay, we're at a point here, and I think after this weekend, mixed with the results that we've had across the rest of the matches, both this weekend and prior, I mean, I think we've got a pretty clear-cut top 5 coming into this minor. You've got LA, you've got Atlanta, of course. I think you throw Minnesota, Vancouver. and Cloud9 into your top 5. I mean, Carolina had a fantastic finish to this weekend as well, so like they're still up there as a top 4 seed, but I mean, talk about just a complete mix-up based on how the minor was seeded in the first place. I mean, legitimately, I'm looking at Vancouver, Minnesota, and Cloud9. All 3 of those teams looking like they could for sure kind of pull off the same story that like Carolina did during minor 1, where they could find a way to sneak through a top-tier opponent and make their way to a grand finals.
Man, I'm loving this, man. All these middle-of-the-pack teams are showing a lot of improvements so far throughout Major 2. Makes it anyone's game at the minor. Obviously, we know who the big dogs are, but just seeing this level of Call of Duty being played when people were talking a lot of smack about people getting dropped left and right. Nah. All that outside noise, throw it out the window. We're going to stay locked in, and it's showing.
Clean hands. I just knocked over my microphone. Chris, desk, have fun.
Go to a game 4 or go to dinner early. Let's eat, everybody. Boston folds in control 3 straight rounds, and we're back here just 5 minutes after talking halftime. Let's jump into the highlights, though, Al, as we revisit the domination. Sib with the grenade, setting the tone. A 3-piece in the first 3 seconds is not how you wanted to start it if you're Boston.
We might as well just watch the whole map of the highlights because that's how long it literally lasted. This was unbelievable. I couldn't even believe in that final round, Snoopy, the lone man on a mission in the middle of the map, backtracking to spawn, like go stop a clock or something, please. 3 players with single digits. That was just...
Bro, what do you want him to do? His teammates had 6 kills, Ali.
Do something.
Bro, I feel like when Sim has a sub out, he's just absolutely having the competition. Guy, truly an insane flex. But yeah, I mean, this is like taking a shotgun to the face, dude. They just got blown back. There was nothing Boston could do in this series. Probably the most lopsided series we've seen throughout this entire stage so far. Like C9 really putting pedal to the metal throughout this stage and improving. Everybody looks good on the team, and a statement victory for them headed into the minor. I agree with Alan. They're like in the top 4 for me right now.
We're joined now by the second coming of the great Sharp TK. He goes by the name of Young Mac. Mac, well done. You guys pull off a 3-0 today, and this looks like the Cloud9 we saw 3-0 Toronto. So when you guys are winning, what's happening in your camp?
I think we just really turned up our practice and just the way we approach it. We're much more consistent now with like energy levels and just effort and all that. So we're just going to continue to get better.
Love it, man.
So Mac, that leads me into, I want to talk about practice. So how long ago did you guys start winning hard points like that? Because that was one of the most fundamentally sound hard points I think I've seen you guys play. Like, has it just been practice not going into matches, or was there a certain point where everything just kind of changed?
I mean, I feel like we've always been a good hardpoint team in practice. It was like more so just translating that to the matches. But yeah, everything's just kind of coming together. We're all going hard. We're all like seeing the fruits of our labor. So really excited.
Mac, in previous years in titles, you've been a pretty inconsistent player, to be frank. Like, you had really high highs, really low lows, but this year you've been the most consistent I've ever seen from you in your career. What has changed with that, and how have you found this consistency?
It really just comes from the people I'm playing with. Like, they make the game really easy. It's not like I have to overcompensate or do things I don't want to do. It's just kind of like an assembly line. Everybody knows their job and does it when they have to, so it's really easy.
Awesome.
Mac, last match I saw you get up with a crutch. Can you elaborate? What's going on? Are you still injured?
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe in a couple months I'll be standing, moving around more, but for now I'll be hobbling around.
I was gonna say, it's helping your game. Stay seated, my guy.
That's
well
crazy.
done.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. That's Mac. That's Cloud9. I thought you'd giggle.
What
louder.
happened? Was it basketball or something?
He can't wiggle too good.
I said stay seated.
I saw a guy dislocate his knee dancing once in New York City.
Clint dislocated his knee shooting a free throw. So
Scuff play of the game coming your way. Let's take a look at your search to destroy Wizards. Mac is one of them. He goes 9-2. Attach 8-3. That's 17-5 for some quick maths at home. Can they keep rolling like this?
I don't see why not. I mean, we said it in the beginning of the year. Ali was really high on this roster. I was very concerned about the dynamic of the AR duo because I didn't see like a leadership figure on this team to be able to sort it out. They have proven me wrong through a couple matches throughout the stage that so far it's sorted out. Sib looks extremely comfortable. Seems like they were just kind of waiting on him, and now that they found him, I don't see why they can't continue this.
4 matches in for a number of our teams, and here's where we stand in your Major 2 overall standings. Alley Cat, current teams at the top. Vancouver looking pretty good at 3-0. I'm told it's coming. The standings are on their way. They're triple checking it. LA Thieves now
are definitely
looking
up there.
Very strong.
Yeah.
Optic.
Your memory's going crazy right now. I think you got this. Yeah. Optic
Toronto
is
Ultra is sitting at 2-2. Boston now at 2-2. You're going to see FaZe and Carolina still on the left side of your screen. But for how long? Røkkr in your top 4 if we ended the bracket today. Well, that would be a crazy round 2.
Look, I think we've seen the highs and lows of like all these teams. I think the only team we're really waiting on seeing a high from is LAG. We have done so many changes now, and I'm excited to see them hopefully try and burst into that bubble. Off to Texas 0-3, obviously.
You're not waiting to see a high from Vegas Falcons or Optic?
I mean, Vegas has more.
I said I've already seen that. We've seen the high from Optic. We've seen the low.
So since it's Sunday and it's final match, and the next thing is the minor, who wins, Vegas or Optic? Honestly.
Optic.
Chris?
Final answer.
I'm going Optic.
All right.
It's such like a reluctant.
It's a banger.
I'm going Optic.
Minnesota, our first winner of the day. Let's revisit some of the games as Falcons were in their sights. A very quick series as expected. A bounce back for Nero and crew after a slow start yesterday. Nero took over the search and destroy. Are your worries still there, Ant, for this guy moving forward?
No, I mean, the 3 p.m. slot. I mean, we just learned he goes to bed at like 10 p.m. I don't know how believable it is. Gio's like a very honorable guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they got to adjust something there with Nero. I mean, maybe it's their pre-warm-ups, but yeah, his first maps, not too great lately. But they bounce back versus Vegas, absolutely fried in the search and destroy if you're Nero. And you get a clean 3-0 where he's taking people hostage.
I was just thinking about that. An honorable guy. Gio probably was a knight in a former life. Let's take a look here at not just the Røkkr rolling. We, of course, had our second match of the day featuring some fantastic players. We got to highlight the duo from last year to now.
Look like brothers, bro.
and Gio are growing up in front of our eyes.
My bad, Astrio. I didn't know you had game like that. A 1.79 KD at 2.43 in the control. I was absolutely frying today. Unreal.
That's Chance's favorite player, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, he's SMG.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Both from North Carolina.
Oh, that's a good reason. Let's take a look here at the beatdown from LA Thieves against Toronto Ultra. It wasn't a game one. This was a difference of just 8 kills. But search and destroy, that's where the real difference maker was felt because we thought Toronto could win.
Did you see that Hydra's walls? He just shot that guy through stage.
We did think
no info.
We did think Toronto could win, and honestly, in the first map, you would have felt very good about that because Joe Deceives was going absolutely insane. But I do think, like in the veto process, Toronto maybe lost this a little bit. I think they played all 3 of Thieves' best maps.
Yeah, they did.
Thieves still, regardless of it being their best maps, not look incredible, just in their game sense and the performance you got from Envoy and Hydra. Very promising going forward when we eventually and inevitably get the rematch against FaZe.
I really appreciated the insight from Scott being like, look, they picked the red card. Like, we were trying to expand our map pool, but they wanted to take us on our best one, which now leaves me excited moving forward, especially for the minor, to hopefully see a couple more S&Ds getting pulled out for the LA Thieves and seeing where they've improved in that game mode.
Just when we thought Toronto would climb back to the top, they are stopped in their tracks. A hot 3-0 in. Well, if you're looking for Major 2 leaders, Hydra ahead of the pack. Celium and Simp for FaZe, they're at 3 and 4. And it's great to see Civ from stage 1 to now, the man's frying.
And I was really happy to see that he was like being a very traditional flex in this series. I saw him pull out the sub multiple times and was just absolutely working on Boston.
This year, we have something special for y'all. They're called minor tournaments. We throw them every 3rd week of the qualifiers. And this one is preceded from the Major 1 bracket. That ended with Optic versus Falcons in an opening round. But it's Breach versus Surge at the top of the bracket. That may be the closest fight. Is it that, or is it Miami versus LAG?
I think Røkkr C9 is closest.
Røkkr C9
That's an absolute banger. That chunk of the bracket right there is pretty tough. Thieves will surely be tested by either one of those teams that advance.
Thank you all for joining us live. We will see you next Friday as we kick off the minor tournament, February 28th. See you then.
Goodbye.
Baggage full of cabbage and I think they lost my tempo. 36 Mickeys on the candy paint bento. Jabba on, keep my brass knuckles warm. Get the cash from the poor, 60 seconds and I'm gone. Bad when I'm gone, bad man, polygons. Going fast on the ball, roll a quarter-mile marathon. Shimmy in the Jimmy, high wide, sipping Kimmy. Got a brand new mark, cage in the mini. Lately all together, see something gonna stick. Lazy on the river, drink, bound the window, whip. Baby on the 18, new rim, big slick. Baby, you ain't never seen nothing like this.
Jeez.
Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Whoever ever think it gets better. Big chain called a Røkkr. I can feel it, I can feel the pressure. Break loose with the ratchet, go through splash. Habit on 2 round patch it. Number fuel injected savage. Lately all together, see something gonna stick. Lazy on a river, dream someone on my hip. Maybe on the 18, no rim, all switch. Baby, you ain't never seen nothing like this. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Like this. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Maybe you ain't never seen nothing like this. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Baggage full of cabbage and I think they lost my tempo. 36 Mickeys on the candy paint bento. Jabba on, keep my breath. knuckles farm. Put a crash on the one, get the cash from the pawn. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Baby, you ain't ever seen nothing like this.
Hedge, yellow hedge. Watch it, S1. I have the cross. One deep. Crossing, Joe dead. Another one deep. Nice! 65! So you have 60 for the out, Joe! Yo, Joe! Joe! What are you doing, Joe?
That's a dog.